Interesting. Makes you think.
Makes you think, indeed.
Also, I saw something that if Will Osprey enters the New Japan Cup,
sure,
and the G1 Climax,
of course,
there's a chance he has the most 5-star ratings by Dave Meltzer ever.
I think it'll be close.
He's at 16 right now.
I think he has potential to pass Omega.
And the crazy idea is that like Misawa had 25. And I was like, Osprey by the end of Wrestle Kingdom 17 could do that because, Dave just loves him, which is fine. I don't really give a shit. I was like, that's crazy. Because like you put him in the G1, he's probably going to have maybe 2 or 3. Certainly. Put him in the New Japan Cup. And if he goes far in the New Japan Cup, 2 or 3, adds up. It's wild.
Yeah, he is. People don't like him, but
people don't like him, the person.
Yeah, and on top of that, I feel like people have a tough time separating him, the person, from the wrestler. Because you can't deny that he is a really good wrestler.
Yeah, I finally have learned to just do that because him, the person's a very odd situation altogether. But as a wrestler, I can't lie.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone recently. This is a weird thing to talk pre-show, but streaming. So thank you, folks, for tuning in. But like, I had this conversation with someone recently that it was like, if you're going to be like a wrestling fan, there is like to be able to be a wrestling fan. I feel like there is a you kind of have to learn very quickly how to separate the art from the artist.
Right. I mean, especially in wrestling.
Like, it's like, I want to support WWE wrestlers, but also like the company is like real bad, right? So it's just like to enjoy them and support them, I have to some money is going to go to like Vince McMahon's pockets, and that's just like that's just a small case. Obviously, like, there's other cases. And then there's also lines that you have to also discover. And I think last year, many people made new lines with some wrestlers, but
understandable.
Yeah, it's just like figuring out, like, you kind of have to, like, you're kind of forced to, like, this is not like a moral business to watch. But I don't think any businesses, I don't think sports are either. I mean, fucking Aaron Rodgers right now.
Yeah, exactly. Or music, movies, like there's actors and actresses, musicians, that it goes all through. It's always popular ones. So, and we don't need to get into it.
Yeah. What we do need to get to is the show. 3,
everything,
2, 1. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ring Post Radio, the only show that, unlike church, is like actually entertaining. It's actually entertaining to watch at 9 in the morning
on a Sunday.
9 a.m. on a Sunday.
You got to get exact on that one.
Yes, this is your wrestling church, folks. And
I was so worried where you were going.
And unlike church. I'm Ryan Neitzey. With me, as always, is Pastor Scotty Wrestling.
I just realized you said, "Unlike church, I'm Ryan Neitzey." I was like,
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
That is church. That is church. Oh God. Okay, hot start. We're only gonna be talking forever.
Should we restart? Should we restart the show?
No. This is as good as we'll ever be. Hello, everybody.
What did someone describe the show as, or what did describe you or me or something? They described it as like us like on crack 9 a.m.
Yeah, on crack. Yeah.
This
is when my crack side comes out, which could come off terribly now that I say that out loud. But I'm here. You're here. And wrestling decided to just not stop in the first week of 2022.
That is certainly correct. Wrestling was bonkers this first week. I think nearly every promotion had some sort of show where it featured pretty much every single person on the roster, and they were all just bombs out of the park. Well, maybe not all bombs out of the park, but
There's a lot of great wrestling though.
Yeah, there was certainly a lot of great wrestling, and I'm very happy that there was a lot of great wrestling to be had. Obviously we enjoy that. Obviously we push and strive for that here at Ring Post Radio.
Yeah, even the shows that like didn't have massive matches had massive debuts or moments, or they all had something. And there's been so much that we're not even going to talk about day one, ladies and gentlemen, because we don't want
news
to.
breaking. Wrestle day one has been cut off the run sheet.
Yeah, we had to make an executive decision, and I forgot that was Saturday last week, and I was like, oh.
And I was there live. I have live reports.
Yeah, the only live report I need is, did you fall asleep?
Close, but no cigar. Yeah, it was quite. That's the quick topic. Then, it was quite boring for the most part. Hands on feet. I was like sitting there like this a lot
until those last like 12 minutes, baby.
Yeah, then it got exciting again. Not even 12. I guess 12 would be the entrances, but yeah, no, it's it fucking ruled that last 8-minute match there. But we're not here talking about day one. I guess it is the review. The day one review is that it was a bad show up until the end. I love my favorite thing about day one is the first thing we all see is Ricochet come in the ring, immediately do a move that injures a guy that ruins the entire rest of the match. And they have to rework the entire rest of the match. And
we should have known.
Oh man, Ricochet.
Rick O'Shea.
Speaking about Ricochet, he used to be really good in a company called New Japan. That's right. That's my transition to New Japan. I hope you're doing good, Scotty, before I choke you on your coffee, I'm guessing.
I'm doing great. I'm awake. I'm here to talk wrestling on Sunday morning. Rain is falling. Stay up till 3:30 a.m. to watch Impact Hard to Kill after work, just so I could cover it correctly on this show.
Yeah, I think no one can deny specifically your commitment to not only this show, but to just wrestling in general.
Yeah, takes up a lot of my life, but if I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't. So the only person I have to blame is myself.
Yeah, it is like I enjoy doing it, but boy howdy, do I have to put myself through some hoops to do this.
I wake up most mornings with headaches because I don't get enough sleep. So,
oh yeah, I try to do my hardest to get beauty sleep because obviously, as you can see, I need more of it.
You said it, I didn't.
Anyways, New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom, New Japan. Our first topic of today. We have plenty of topics, of course. We're gonna be talking the NXT cuts. We're gonna be talking the AEW TBS debut plus Battle of the Belts. We're going to be talking Impact Hard to Kill. We're going to be talking Noah New Year show if we get to all of it. But of course, we're going to be talking Wrestle Kingdom nights 1, 2, and a little bit of 3. You and I haven't watched all of 3. It was not on World. It was on that Abema TV pay-per-view thing, or premium live event thing. So it was sort of more difficult. But
this is the meat. This is the meat.
Yeah, we might be able to talk about it more next week, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah,
if it's even worth talking about. People, there was conversation coming out of it, but I guess we'll see. But let's start off with New Japan, Scotty.
Yeah, New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom 16, big show for them, as of course, and for many of us, it's one of the more highly anticipated wrestling events of the year. Even when you're down on a Wrestle Kingdom, you're almost always okay because you know you're going to at least get one great match. They never fail to deliver great pro wrestling, even in their lowest year, if that makes sense in terms of excitement. And I thought Well, first off, I thought if you could just, make these Wrestle Kingdom cards back into one show, it would be a home run. Because, like, you take all the good matches out of this show and you put them into one card.
Yeah,
it's a great Wrestle Kingdom card again. And the 2-day format is just, it's not it. It's just not it. And I understand why they do it, especially in COVID now. But
yeah, you sell an extra 6,000-7,000 tickets. That's a decent chunk of change.
But it was a great show. I mean, they had some great main events. Kenta killed himself for the fans, so I'm looking forward to talking about this. I almost forgot that we had to talk about this week because so much has happened. And I was like, Wrestle Kingdom so long ago. I'm like, oh no, it wasn't. It was 5 days ago. Awesome. So yeah.
Yeah, it was quite the goddamn show. Let's talk about it. Well, I think we're gonna have a lot more pithy thoughts on some things. But let's start off. Where do you want to start off? Main event, top of the card. Where do you want to go?
We can start day one main event. Yeah,
day one main event. Okay.
No. Night one of Wrestle Kingdom main event. That's on me. I'll take that credit.
Night one main event, of course, was Kazuchika Okada taking on Shingo Takagi. They were fighting over the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And it was Kazuchika Okada that defeated Shingo Takagi in 35 minutes and 44 seconds. Boy, Scotty, this was an outstanding match.
Yeah, I mean, Okada's back, by the way. If anyone was wondering.
Yeah.
The dude is back. He had an incredible week. Just like 3 main events. And I'd say they were all good to fantastic. But Shingo Takagi, let's pour one out for you or whatever they do.
Yeah, I think it works.
The dude deserves so much credit because he lost. His story is so interesting because he lost those 2 matches to Osprey. And Osprey goes down injured. And they're like, you know what? We need a champion. And they just went in on Shingo. They gave him the title. He beat Okada for that title, and he just had a fantastic run. And really, all of 2021 was a fantastic run for Shingo Takagi. But he got his chance to main event the Tokyo Dome, Wrestle Kingdom on the traditional day that they do it on the January 4th show. And they had themselves a time. Him versus Okada was as good as probably expectations, maybe even a little bit better. Because I think going into this Wrestle Kingdom, we had a little bit lower expectations just for everything, because that's kind of the mindset.
Yeah.
But they just knocked it out of the park. And I adore Okada's new finishing sequence of the landslide and the Rainmaker. I don't know why. It's so smooth the way he does it that it's over. And I feel like with a lot of Okada matches for a couple of years, I never knew when it was definitely over. So now that there's this complete finish that I know, it enhances his matches because it gives you a chance to actually look out for it. How many times did he hit 1 million Rainmakers in his matches when I was like, I have no idea if this is going to end the match or not.
Yeah, he is. This whole long period of Kazuchika Okada has been not only sort of quote unquote rehabbing Kazuchika Okada a little bit, not rehabbing, but sort of bringing him down to reconfiguring. I guess maybe that'd be a better word. But that idea of he used to be hitting Rainmakers all over the place and it'd never be the big thing because it was super protected, and then Omega kicked out of it, and then people started kicking out of it, and then he was like, I need a new finisher. But now it's gotten to a point of it feels like the Rainmaker is now a finisher again. It almost feels like it's a proper finisher again.
Yeah, and it makes an Okada match better.
Yeah.
I think the protection of moves for me, this could sound nerdy, but I don't really give a shit. it goes a long way to making a match and a wrestler's match is better. That's why Kenny Omega is so great. You know, he hits the one wing angel, you know it's over. And you're looking out for that the entire match. And I think now that Okada has this, you know, he hits the lariats where he pulls him, but it's not until he does the ripcord and whatnot that you know it's the Rainmaker. And he's just so good. He's just so good. Like, I was so happy to just like sit there and watch these matches because I was like, oh, he's back. Like, he's just one of the greatest of all time. And he had like a 2-year run there where like people were like, oh, he's terrible. No, he was just hurt, injured, a little banged up, and he wasn't at the top of the cards. So he didn't need to be great when he, you know, didn't want to. He had great matches in there.
Yeah.
But he didn't always have to be great. And I think him being great again means New Japan can be great again.
That's the hope, at least. I think New Japan has certainly reconfigured some roster stuff to be a little bit better here. I think bringing Okada back to the top, you know, hopefully will fix some things. I think personally what will actually properly fix New Japan is clap crowds kicking to the curb. But, you know, that is what it is. But I thought this was a pretty great match. I thought, you know, Shingo put in great work. This felt like... in like a weird way of like, you know, going, you know, of being that this was the first night and here the next night, it did feel like Okada was maybe holding back a little bit. But then because it felt like a little bit of like a warm up to tune into the Osprey match the next night. But I thought this match was great, hard hitting. I thought Shingo was outstanding in it. I don't really remember a lot of like key spots from it for whatever reason, but I just really thought this was pretty great. You know, I wasn't as high as like I think most people, but I still thought this was a pretty great match.
Yeah. Wrestle Kingdom main event. That's like one of the main guarantees of these shows that you're probably going to get a great match. I think I like this better than their Dominion match. Like for an example per se, and I think that's because, you know, you kind of made the point of Okada was kind of on a tune-up, but at the same time during that Dominion match he still didn't feel like himself. And watching him here and watching Takagi just give it his all made it really enjoyable to watch.
Yeah, it felt like he was remembering, and he was also reminding us that like, oh, by the way, this is who I was, this is who I am, and then we're like, oh yeah, now I get it. Now I freaking get it. I'm trying to remember a spot from that. I'm trying to remember a spot, and Twitter isn't helping me because New Japan flagged everyone's gifs and images and stuff. Gifs from the show. But no, I don't know. That's maybe not the greatest analysis of the show. Maybe I fucked up there. Maybe I should remember that stuff. I don't remember. You know how much wrestling I watched this week, Scotty?
Yeah.
You know how much?
I mean, I can remember the Osprey match a lot more. It's probably because I've seen it more recently, to be honest. But there was so much wrestling. Like, I think I watched like near 100 matches just in the first week of the year, and I'm not even doing a match race anymore. That wasn't on purpose. I didn't want to do that, but it happened.
From the beginning of the year to now, I've watched 69 wrestling matches.
Nice.
We'll get to the mega coaches later, of course. But I did think this was a good match. We'll get to the rest of it. Obviously, I think this is the match of the night. I thought Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 as a whole wasn't as good as Night 2. And we'll get to that more as we kind of continue.
I thought Night 2 is smoother just to watch.
Yeah. I don't know. I had that thought recently where it was just like, you know, Night 2 feels like the bigger show, right? Because it's going to be more... You know, because Night 1 is also setting things up for Night 2, so you would be like, maybe they should have Wrestle Kingdom Night 1, Night 2 be January 3rd and 4th, not 4th and 5th. I had that thought, and then I was like, well, then no one would go to see the third show, and they would just show up on the 4th. The point of the show being on the 5th is that people go there to see, like, the finality of Wrestle Kingdom. So I was like, oh, maybe that's not a good idea anymore, actually.
Well, the whole idea about the 2-day card is that the 4th is a holiday.
Yeah.
The 5th is not.
Yeah.
So like that's why attendance was cut in half for the second day.
For a second year in a row too.
Yeah.
Let's move on. IWGP Junior Heavyweight Title match. El Desperado defeating Hiromu Takahashi. Kind of surprised. It felt certainly that this match was going to be an easy pick. You can bet all your money Hiromu Takahashi would win this one. But that was not the case. El Desperado won this match. I thought this match was pretty good. It wasn't my like favorite. I mean, it was great, but it wasn't like, I don't know. First, I was expecting more from this match for whatever reason.
I'm in 100% agreement. They've had better matches. They've almost all of their matches over the past like 2-3 years have been better than this one. And that's not saying this one was bad. Yeah. I'm just saying I think they were better. And they did change it up in this one. It was a bit more of like, let's just hit every move in the book and not even think about it. And Desperado and Hiromu are great. But it's for me, it was definitely like, okay, this is good. But I mean, it didn't feel like the Wrestle Kingdom level match that they've had before. Mm-hmm. Not at Wrestle Kingdom, if that makes sense. Which is fine. You know, you don't always have to have a match of the year, match of the night candidate, especially when you have that main event following. And I don't know, maybe it's different if Hiromu's winning. Maybe the match is completely different the way they book it out. But I'm happy with Desperado winning. He's very deserving of that title and a continued title reign.
How do you feel about Hiromu? Can we get a vibe check on Hiromu real quick?
I would love if he could go heavyweight because he has done so much and you know, we've missed the heavyweight window, I think, like, because hopefully this year they start to get more people coming back down the line. But like, I feel like he would have been perfect in the G1. He really would have, because he's that good. And it was just a perfect opportunity where there was clear as day openings for him. I don't know what he does. He's starting to get to the Kushida spot,
yeah, that's
where he's gonna be stale. Not in like he's not gonna have great matches, but he's just kind of gonna be sitting there waiting around.
Yeah, I've never been like a super huge Hiromu guy. I always liked Kushida more. I've always been a Kushida fan. But I can't deny that he isn't good, because he
Tough
is.
For you then.
He is good.
To be a Kushida fan.
Yeah, well, yeah, no, tell me about it. Jacket time, baby. No, but it just feels like, you know, with the amount of injuries and the amount of like the style of Hiromu, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like it's just I've seen it. I've seen Hiromu, and this is a very like minute point, really, because he's still putting on great matches, so who cares, right? But I don't know. I just feel like my expectations for Hiromu are higher than what his output has been recently.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just expect more. And you know, and now he's lost the IWG Junior Heavyweight title, or didn't lose it, but did lose that challenge. So I don't know what is next for Hiromu either. And people are pitching, like you said, the heavyweight move up, and you know, maybe that's no. Something.
I mean, he was like, I don't want to. And yeah, I was like,
he doesn't want to. He wants to continue the legacy of Liger, right? I think at this point, you know, let's just turn LIJ heel or something and have a heel Hiromu, right? I feel like we haven't had that.
He's great as a heel.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't had that in a very long time.
I think also what hurts Hiromu is that the junior division just is it's guttered right now, you know?
The junior division lived a lot more on outside people.
Yeah, it big time. I mean, when it had outside people, is one of the most fun divisions to watch. And I mean, Osprey went up, so that didn't help. And then, you know, COVID happened. But
and speaking out.
Like this is true. I miss Dragon Lee. Like he was great in the junior division.
Where's Dragon Lee? Can we bring him in?
Can we bring him somewhere? Like I don't care where.
He's not doing anything anymore.
No, he's so good. And he was great. In him and Hiromu had some great matches. Even the one where but
I believe that was the sound of him breaking his neck.
Yeah, it was terrifying. Watch that live. Wanted to cry a little bit. But again, the junior division suffering. I think in that Hiromu has become stale, and you would think he wouldn't have because he's been injured so many times that like you'd think that would refreshen him every time he comes back.
Sure.
But
I think it just slows him down a little bit, which in a way is a good thing because maybe he should slow down a little bit just because he's been injured a lot.
Yeah, I mean, he's very good still. I'm not going to say he's bad. I just think the junior division needs help.
This is a very minute, nitpicky point of like, he's still, because it's still like, I thought this match was great. I gave it 4 stars. So I'm still like, it's still a great match. I also
did, to be fair.
Yeah, this is a great match. So I'm just sort of like, yeah, I'm just sort of, I feel like I've seen
a conversation.
At this point, I've seen El Desperado and Hiromu too many times, and I need to move on. Let's see different varieties of that.
Whatever. I don't care. I can't. Until the COVID part slows down, the junior division's just gonna kind of be Roppongi 3K, and then these two, and then Robbie Eagles.
Well, yeah.
Sorry for whoever I forgot.
Doki.
Taishi Ishimori once in a while.
Doki, sir. How dare you?
We do like Doki. And El Phantasmo's moving up, so God bless we don't have to see that anymore.
He's moving up? What do you mean?
I think he's moving up to heavyweight, I saw, and I was like, that's terrible. Why would you do that? You're not very good.
Also, why move up to heavyweight? You have to pack on still a lot more weight, but also...
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he was just saying that. El Phantasmo says a lot of shit, so I don't know if he's ever actually telling the truth.
That's true. But I just don't see the point of him doing that because what slot would he be put in, El Phantasmo?
Hopefully low card / jobber.
Yeah, it was like never. Like where would you go? I don't know.
Oh yeah, just what I want to see: Evil versus El Phantasmo for the Never Open Weight.
Yeah.
Remember Jay White? I'm going to do this from now on every time we talk about New Japan.
IWGP Tag Team Championship match, Hiroki Goto and Yoshihashi defeating the team of Dangerous Tekkers, Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. to win the IWGP Tag Team Champions. The World Tag League streak continues, where if you win World Tag League, you will win the IWGP Tag Team Championships. This does mean that there is still the chance that in their first defense, they will lose it immediately. That also tends to happen. So I guess we will see what happens there, whatever the next show will be. But I thought this match was, again, I thought it was pretty good. I'm enjoying the work of Yoshihashi and Goto. I think they put on good work. I wasn't a big fan of how long it was. Even though it was 15 minutes, it felt way too long for 15 minutes. I don't know what it was about the match. There's something about Dangerous Tekkers that their matches just feel longer than they actually are. And I don't know why that is, but it just is. So I wasn't a big fan of that part, but I'm looking at Dave Meltzer's rating here, and I'm way lower than him.
I'm happy
I should be dogging on this match more because I am way lower than I sound like I am.
I'm happy for Yoshihashi and Goto. Very deserving. They'll probably have, hopefully, if they don't lose it first try, that they can have a nice little title reign. Again, like the junior division, the tag division suffers a lot too.
Yeah.
With no teams. But the thing for me is you saw it with Dangerous Tekkers, and you can just make teams whenever you want. It's not very difficult. If you have like 2 main eventers, Tetsuya, Naito, and Sonata, you put them together, you have a tag team division. It worked out for a little bit last year. I thought them Dangerous Tekkers had a good couple matches or whatever they did.
Great O'Khan and Aaron Hanare. Let's put them together.
That's not what I said.
Well,
Great Okada and Jeff Cobb.
Well, Cobb is injured. That's why I didn't say.
Yeah,
Cobb.
that's true. Poor guy.
Yeah, no, but I Narita Shibata. Why not?
Oh, I mean, twist my arm. We'll get to that in a few minutes. But yeah, good for Goto. Good for Yoshihashi. Match was fine.
Yeah, I don't know. This match was fine. I thought it was good. I thought it was good work. But it's just at that point, I don't know why the matches always feel so much longer. I don't know what it is about Taichi and Zack Sabre Jr. It's always their matches too.
I think it might just be Zack Sabre Jr. His matches don't feel long.
Yeah, I don't know why. Because it's like I've seen so much like technical wrestling stuff that isn't long feeling like that. So I don't know exactly what it is about Zack Sabre Jr.
I don't know. Pure wrestling matches sometimes feel really long to me too. So
yeah, I don't know why we're dogging on this show so far because I feel like we've been fairly positive. But speaking about dogging on things, let's talk about the never openweight title match that was Evil defeating Tomohiro Ishii for the never openweight title. Evil beat him in 12 minutes and 10 seconds. Dave Meltzer gave this match 1 star. The cage match people gave this match 1.96 out of 10, which is practically a 0.6, 0.7, 0.8 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a 0.8.
So what did you give this match?
I gave it a 1, I think. Yeah, I think I gave it a 1. That being said, I have a fight to pick with Ishii fans. This has nothing to do with this match.
I cannot believe. Can I just say that this match is the perfect embodiment of Scotty? Like it was Evil going over big House of Torture guy over here. Evil going over not only over on like some scrub or whatever, but going over Tomohiro Ishii, the guy that Scotty's like I think he's overrated. So you got it. The perfect thing for Scotty is just Evil going over someone that everyone else loves.
My overrated take is fair nowadays, and here's why, Ryan. Because so many people call him underrated to the point where he can't be underrated anymore. That's not how this works. A lot of people don't understand the difference between overrated and underrated. They don't understand what underrated means.
He has a 9.51 on Cage Match out of 10.
Yeah, like what are we talking about? Like underrated would be like if someone just like had the balls to say, Aaron Henare is pretty good. I think he needs more respect. Like that's underrated. And I'm not saying that as a person. I'm just saying it as an example. That being said, Ishii had some really good matches over the past since the G1. He actually made me enjoy some of his stuff. He had that good match with Jay White at whatever the show was called. But House of Torture time, baby. Dick Togo, getting the work. Getting Evil back on top. Even if it's just the never openweight champion. I understand why this match, angered a lot of people. I don't remember a single wrestling move in this match. I don't think there was any. But the look that Evil gave the camera after winning, I was like, see, this is great. He knows exactly what he just did. He pissed off a lot of people and he loves it. Heel work in New Japan is very lazy. It's very lazy.
Well, yeah.
And unless it's like Osprey. Osprey's different because he's just like a prick. So like that works. Heel work for House of Torture is very repetitive. And if they did heat and changed it up, that'd be one thing. But the choking and the wrench and the low blows and the never-ending, hey, I'm over here by Dick Togo, it adds up. And this was the match where I was like, all right, let's stop. Let's just stop. Because they did it a little bit in the opener, but not enough to make me be like, I want to just, go roll in a ball and die. This one made me think, you know what? House of Torture. I love you guys. I respect you guys. But let's fucking calm it down for 5 minutes.
My take on this is in the House of Torture nonsense. Obviously, you know, all the reports are saying it's still going to happen. This is happening. This is a mainstay to come. My thing is, remember when all this stuff was in the main event? Guess what? It's now in the never open weight title and the never trios titles. Who cares about those titles?
That's a good point. My point exactly. Thank you.
Shove it to the side. Yeah, the downside is it's never. So it's like those might like main event more shows, like in terms
that fit
of the
though.
Ones.
That fit though. It'll never.
It never be important. So don't make it important. I thought this was a fine match. I thought if you ignore everything else about it, the story of the match of Ishii practically by himself, trying to take on this whole squad and just getting overrun with nonsense. I thought the heat was there. Blobbity blobbity blue.
Oh, the heat was there.
The heat was on. You know, it was perfectly fine. And guess what? It's in the never openly title. This is here to stay. It's easily ignorable. No one's gonna be watching a never openly match for another long while until the next big show. It's whatever, guys. Like, who cares at this point? It's no longer your main event. I can understand being mad about House of Torture when it was the main event, but now that it is like the tertiary title and the tertiary tag teams, who cares? I don't. I thought this was fine.
Tomohiro Ishii's fans. That's probably who cares.
And I'm a Tomohiro Ishii fan. I thought he's fine in this. I thought he did fine in what he could do. But this wasn't an Ishii match. It was an Evil match, and it was just constant nonsense. You know, I didn't think it was abysmal. I don't think it was worth giving a 0.8. I think that's too mean, but I think it was perfectly fine. Like, it's here. Who cares? Be fine with it. This is a pro evil podcast, this guy likes to say. So I'm going to defend the man, I guess. It was fine.
I like to go on record and say Evil's a good wrestler. You just gotta, maybe they'll let him wrestle eventually someday. Remember that match with Yoshihashi? That was great. I'm not kidding. Like, that was a very good match, and like, it was when Evil actually wrestles, and Yoshihashi for some reason just has really good chemistry with the House of Torture thing. But like you said, it's the never open weight. Who gives a shit? And I think a lot of people were like, well, this is like the new IC title. I was like, no, it's not. The IWGP United States title is the new IC title. That's why it's in the semi-main event. Then this is on the middle of the card.
That's why freaking Tanahashi went to America to bring it back home. That's why they sent Tanahashi to do that.
That was a very broken sentence, by the way. He went to America to bring back the United States Championship home.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's weird. But like, it's a never open weight. The never open weight did not get elevated. It's in the same exact spot it's always been. Mm-hmm. It's just a title to put on a card, have a main event on a road to show.
I think people are more upset because it's a singles Ishii match and it's against Evil and it was all about heat. I think there's the trend of like, if people don't like the situations around the matches, they shit on it more, which I think is, sure, you can do that if you like. I'm just saying, ignore all that. This match was completely fine. It wasn't anything special. It wasn't. I don't think it was bad.
It was just. It wasn't even like a match. It was kind of just like, hey, let's just get the title to Evil, which is fine. And you made a great point. It's the Ishii fans being like, oh, we didn't get our classic forearm match.
Did no one see the G1 Climax last summer or last fall? I'm an Ishii fan. I've been an Ishii fan. However, that G1 Climax, he was not usual Ishii. He was not.
Shingo is the only one I remember.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, does anyone remember any classic Ishii G1 Climax match for the past 2 years? The guy is not the same.
Let him hear it.
The guy is not the same. Are you turning me? What is happening right now?
Now you just gotta put up the.
Yeah, here, baby. You see this purple border? That's what we're doing, baby. This is House of Torture propaganda. But no,
Togo has gotten into our ears.
I think Ishii is still really good. I don't think he like is as great as he was a couple years ago. Sure, I mean the guy is freaking like 40 something, upper 40s, 46. You know, he's reaching dad level. You know, like he's not the same man like 5 years ago when he was still like 41 and still putting on bangers every single day.
Yeah, and there's better, dad level wrestlers in Noah, so just watch them. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Take it.
Takashi Sugiura, dude.
Yeah, Segura is
nice.
Really, Segura's like 52.
That's my point.
But yeah, I still really like Ishii. I'm not dogging on him. I'm just saying he is not the same guy as he was 5 years ago. That's also a common thing I'm realizing about wrestling is that everyone compares them like, oh, they were great. They're still great. I was like, yeah, but you're comparing them whenever you bring them up, it's like 5 years ago. It's the same conversation we had with like Ember Moon that like Ember Moon's a great wrestler, solid pick. And it's like, she is a good wrestler, but she is not like Ember Moon versus Asuka she was 5 years ago.
Yeah. Okada's different though. He's great again.
Yeah, that's my hot take on this conversation. Everyone wants to like dog on it. I'm like, no. Give this match a break.
My hot take was fair because I just said, let's stop calling Tomohiro Ishii underrated.
Yeah, well, I agree. I agree with that point. He is properly rated.
If anything, he's too highly rated now.
Oh, okay, well, hold on. Katsuria Shabbato returns. Oh my God. There's news from this match, of course. So it was Shibata versus X. X comes out first and ended up being Ren Narita. You freaking called it, so victory lap on your end.
Pops for that, by the way. I was so happy. I was like, they actually brought him over. Let's go.
Great spot. Guy walks out like he's like on a pathway to death and destruction. Like just hair all over his eyes, ready to fight.
Mini Shibata.
Shibata comes out, of course. The chills go down everyone's spine. The music hits, and you're just like, yeah, baby.
And he's in the gear.
He's in the gear. He's in full gear.
Black tights.
And then, of course, this match is supposed to be a catch wrestling rules match. Shibata grabs the microphone and just says, no. We're changing it to an actual actual wrestling match. Like a legit wrestling match. And Maria's like, sure. And the referee's like, wait, what? Turns out, of course, that whole situation was Shibata going in for himself. No one knew about it, not even the back office, not even the people in charge. It wasn't like anything before. It was legit just Shibata being like, yeah, this is what I'm doing. I think I saw somewhere that Kadani like tweeted out that like, no, there's not going to be any repercussions. I mean, it made everyone super happy and he was fine. So why would I be upset about that? Everyone was super ecstatic about it and loved the match. So why would I punish the man? And the match was great. The match was really good. The match was pretty good. It's Ren Narita, so he's not like exactly there as like a Bushi, which that could have been the Ibushi spot. He's not like that kind of thing. But he's really good, and Shibata is just Shibata, man. Shibata is just so good to watch.
You would have thought he just didn't miss a day. Which he has missed many a day. But also he's been he's been a trainer forever, so it's not like
he's 100% been wrestling all of those guys constantly.
Oh yeah, like I think that's why he does it. Like he's with Ren, and Ren knows like what's up. Like they've probably had some graps in the dojo for couple of years now, honestly, so like they probably are very comfortable with each other. It was just so much fun. Like it's one of those matches where you just kind of look at it and you don't care about anything. You don't care about ratings. You don't care about like thinking, oh, how great was this? No, it was great no matter what.
Yeah,
because we were seeing Shibata wrestle. Ren Narita was a perfect opponent to not only, go in there and, kind of protect him, but hit him back because he knows what he's doing. And getting to see Shibata throw strikes and do his signature drop kick and just the finish was perfect of the sleeper into the penalty kick.
Yeah.
It was just all every moment from Ren Narita being the X to the end where Shibata just literally won and was like, all right, see ya. It was just perfect. And his press conference where he's like, for today, I want to get a wrestler. I was like, oh man, he is the wrestler. And my hope is that this is one of many to come. Just don't touch his head, please.
Yeah, obviously, I think the more interesting talking point is, where do we go from here? What is next, right? I mean, the New Japan back office obviously was going slow and steady to win this race, but Shibata said, "Screw that," kicked that plan to the curb, and just said, I'm ready now." Narita was a great pick because it allowed. It was somebody that trained with him and like recently trained with him, so like knows what he can do and know his elements. So they were able to have a good match that way.
Ibushi might commit crimes if he isn't there.
Yeah, Ibushi might do Ibushi things, so who knows? Or same thing with Suzuki. I mean, he might hit hard too. I mean, but it's Narita, so he's not like there.
He hits hard.
Yeah. But it was a great pick to make sure that he's like safe. And Shibata, what's next for him, right? I mean, the immediate idea is like, well, he is still the trainer at the LA dojo, so presumably he's back to America, right?
Yeah.
But New Japan Cup, though.
I don't think they'll ever let him do that. Right. I don't.
You think he's just like a special attraction every once in a while?
I do. Like, I think what's next for him is Kenta, because that's the story. Easy story to tell. I mean, I know Kenta got fucked up, but, when Kenta comes back, I think that's an easy story to tell. Mm-hmm. He instantly said, I want Shibata right when the match was over. Mm-hmm. And I think we can all agree, like, if we get the Kenta that we saw in his Noah match, and even in his, ridiculous match with Tanahashi, which is the best version, like those two matches alone were like, oh, see, this is where Kenta's been. Mm-hmm. He was just, chilling, because he's been through shit. And he has been through shit. His WWE career is like one of the most ridiculous things ever.
Yeah.
And it's neither person's fault. Like, that's the one person I'm like, well, it's not WWE's fault that he just had the worst injuries. It's not Kenta's fault that he had the worst injuries. This is how it went.
Yeah.
And it just, Kenta feels like the right choice. It feels like the next choice. But if you literally just want to put Shibata on a show and have him wrestle anyone that is worthy, we're at a point where you don't need to have a title. He doesn't need to be fighting for titles. He's just kind of like, he's the guy people want to wrestle. Hopefully we get to a point where I'd love if we got to a point where he could just wrestle and he doesn't have to be a special attraction anymore.
Which I
don't know
possible.
if we ever do.
I think
it's possible. Yeah.
It's just a matter of if and when.
How's that head feeling after they didn't do too much to the head, thankfully, and they should never do too much to the head. But if that mofo ever brought out the headbutt, I would probably just shut the TV off.
Well, I mean,
he can't.
Well, you also, what the money match is, right? With Shibata. I mean, it's Shibata versus Okada. That is the money match.
Oh yeah.
That is the goal, I feel like. Like, I don't know in what capacity, but at some point you're like, I think the goal is to get back to that match.
Well,
and I think I would love a tease maybe, but yeah.
Some people say that's like the greatest match of all time, which is of course Shibata's last match. At really Sakura Genesis, for those who forget. I mean, that of course is money.
Yeah.
And I think Okada's holding this title at least for a year. So it's not crazy to think that becomes a possibility.
Yeah, I agree. Let's move on. United Empire, Great Khan, Jeff Cobb, Will Osprey, defeating Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Sonata, and Tetsuya Naito. I feel like we're going to have a lot more pithy thoughts incoming, so do you have any quick thoughts about this match?
I like the way Osprey worked this match. He did the obvious, like, I don't want to wrestle, and then they pissed him off, so he like was like, okay, I will beat you up, Bushi, not Ibushi, but Bushi. And I thought it was smartly worked.
I agree. I thought that was a good different kind of heel heat for this promotion, and did a good job of just being like,
I will give him credit. He's good at the heel heat.
He's good at the job. He knows what he's doing. What am I going to say? 6-man tag team match, Bullet Club, El Phantasmo, Kenta, and Taiji Ishimori, defeating the team of Hiroshi Tanahashi and Rocky Romero and Ryusuke Taguchi.
I don't remember this match at all. I watched it, but I don't remember.
Yeah, it's tough because I confused this match with the Rocky Romero Taguchi, the tag, the junior tag.
Anyways, moving on.
Yo defeats Sho. Singles match here. Yo defeating Sho. Oof. I had not.
Yeah, it happened.
What did I say before about Sho being a guy, Yo being a guy? It's not that. Sho should have Yo should have been the House of Torture guy. Right?
Interesting.
Right. I stand by to this. Yo should have been the House of Torture guy. Yo's good, but I don't think he's like that exciting of a baby face. But I guess maybe in like the Japan market, maybe he is. I don't know. He just doesn't feel that exciting.
The Japan market's a different animal, man.
Sho is good. Sho is a good wrestler. I really like seeing Sho. But he's like he's got wrenches now.
He's got voices in his head.
He's got snake pants.
He might be Randy Orton. Well, without the wrench.
Well, you don't know. Randy Orton.
He said snake.
Pants.
Voices.
Yeah. Wrench.
Oh, pants are off.
Yeah,
Randy doesn't wear pants.
Randy doesn't wear pants. Randy in pants? That feels weird.
All right, New Japan Rambo.
Yeah, I just don't like Yo and Sho. New Japan Rambo. Not much to really say here other than the winners were Chase Owens, Minoru Suzuki, Toru Yano, and Shima.
No. The winners were Minoru Suzuki and Shima. There was no one else involved. This is all that mattered. They somehow made me enjoy a KOPW match the next night. So it was all about these two. No one else was there.
Well,
moving on. Nope, no one else was there.
Well, no, I got to bring up this as well. We saw Bad Luck Fale show up. He popped up once, and then we also, for whatever reason, got Tatsumi Fujinami.
Yeah, he did. Well, that was like all right. Who do we got? Who do we got in the back?
50 years. 50 years. We got to get someone in there. Hey, Fujinami, you're 68 years old. Get in there. You were old when you wrestled for our company. Fujinami. Yeah, but I thought this was perfectly fine. It was
a Rambo.
It was a Rambo. I'm gonna do reverse order now, but I'm just gonna skip all of the pre-show 6-man tags if that's okay on night 2 of Wrestle Kingdom.
Good.
Makabe, Hanma, Nagata beat Bad Luck Fale, Gato, and Jado. Master Wado and Tenkoji defeated Suzuki-gun of El Desperado, Takumi Shinoku, and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. And Los Ingobernables de Japón, Bushi, Hiromu, and Shingo defeated Doki, Taichi, and Zack Sabre Jr. Do you have any thoughts about any of those? I doubt it.
Not a single one.
Yeah. I
have more thoughts about wanting to move on than I have those two matches. I thought
of all those matches, LIJ versus Suzuki-gun was the better one. But it was good. It was good. It was nothing right home about though. Starting off, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Title match. It was the Flying Tigers, Robbie Eagles and Tiger Mask having matching gear and all that jazz, defeating the team of. It's written here on Cage Match. Bullet Club's cutest tag team, El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori, and the Mega Coaches, Rocky Romero and Ryusuke Taguchi. In 12 minutes.
This was fun.
Seconds. Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
It was what you do with the junior tag. You know, this is what they used to do on one night Wrestle Kingdom shows with, you know, better teams. But I thought it was fun for what it was. It wasn't anything. And they finally showed that El Phantasmo had the metal piece in his boot, which was, you know, kind of big, like long term, because he's been doing that forever. So
yeah, conclusion to a long-term story. They get kicked out of the match, and then the match ends with just the tag on tags. Flying Tiger gets the win, of course. That brings up the question of what's next for El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori. They bring them back as individuals into the junior thing. Are they going to do a whole new tag thing? Are they moving up or something? Or
I'm sure Ishimori will probably just challenge Desperado like in a couple days. Not a couple days, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. But I like the Flying Tigers. Flying Tigers. I thought they're very good. Tiger Mask is still very good, man. Like
Tiger Mask, baby.
He is old as dirt.
Tough night for him though. He didn't even have the coolest Tiger Mask on the show. That's tough. That's tough.
How dare you?
It's true.
He had the original. What's more cool than OG?
Starlight Kids.
Fair
that is what is cooler.
Tiger Mask
the
Tiger
Mask in her entrance.
No, she did not.
No, she didn't want to.
I thought she didn't want to.
She didn't want to upstage Liger too.
Yeah,
that's fair. One legend was good enough.
Tiger Mask is, despite the age, despite the health issues, pretty much all of last year, still very good. Like still very good. Doing like a top rope arm drag thing, whatever he was doing there, that was great. Robbie Eagles is great. You know, putting these old guys in like tag matches like this I think are a good move. I had this thought while watching the match that the 50th anniversary, it's Tiger Mask. This kind of feels like a golden watch of a reign for Tiger Mask. So I wonder if he might retire this year and we get a new Tiger Mask. That is a complete pitch idea. But I was like, 50th anniversary. He has the championship. He's no way going to be the champion all the way through. Maybe we'll get a new Tiger Mask.
Well, there's about 1 million Tiger Masks, so it's only fair we have a new one, probably, if you're going to retire.
At some point, he's going to retire, and I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, he's still good, so I don't necessarily think he should retire anytime soon. But I just thought, like, the you know, all the strings, everything connected there, that I was like, you know, maybe. I think it's feasible. Yeah. And maybe they put it on, like, give it to Taiji Ishimori. Maybe that's something.
I mean, the other Tiger Mask made Tiger Queen last year. So, which is just Asuka Venny, even though no one wants to say it out loud. But, yeah, you're welcome.
My cat is terrifying. Jesus Christ. Saya Kamatani, Tam Nakano defeating the team of Mayu, Watani, and Starlight Kid. This was the first official, not the first official Stardom match on a Tokyo Dome show for New Japan, but the first one that was aired properly.
Hell yeah, it was. And they killed it. They got like 9 minutes, but they maximized those 9 minutes. They left Dave Meltzer saying they should have had more time, which is always good when you get the big dog's approval. But they did exactly what I hoped they would do, which was Mayu and Starlight Kid would just work together as if they were still MK sisters, which is what they did. And Tam and Sai worked really well together. The only devastating part is that they couldn't play Tam's music, and I was very sad. It was
Tam's and
Mayu's. They couldn't play Mayu's. I was about to scream. But, you know, she deserved it. Most importantly, Mayu deserved it. And she's one of 6 women to wrestle in both Madison Square Garden and the Tokyo Dome. So that's pretty cool. It's the Crush Gals.
China?
Yes. Bull Nakano. Hana Kimura.
Yeah, Hana Kimura.
Is that it? I think I said them all.
Crush Girls.
Yeah, Crush Gals is 2. Bull, China, Hana, Mayu.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, no, outstanding. I thought this was an outstanding match. Like you're right. It was exactly the match that Stardom needed to have on this platform.
Mm-hmm.
Like a outstanding match, short and sweet, make you interested. Commentary did a great job. Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton did a great job. Chris Charlton did an outstanding job also, very well prepared. Kelly was able to keep up and stuff, but Chris Charlton was like very well prepared for this. Knew everything, knew all the storylines, knew everything that was happening. Very good from him. Good job, Chris. Good. This is just a great match. You know, it's just a very classic like match of showcasing these talents, and hopefully this draws more eyes to Stardom.
Yeah, that has to be the goal. And Saya's, of course, the perfect person to put in there because she's going to hit the Phoenix Splash for the win, which she did.
Beautiful
and
splash.
I do want to give her credit for, in her post-match press conference, taking the time to say, I would like to challenge the man of my dreams in Kota Ibushi.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is hysterical that she had this post-match press conference and she somehow still went into business for herself. God bless her. Very good, like you said, very good, great, whatever you want to call it. Just perfect 9 minutes. They didn't miss on anything. It was the house show Stardom main event style that they do so well when they just go at it. So good job on them. Yeah,
and hopefully, like I said, hopefully it brings in more eyes to Stardom. New Japan King of Pro Wrestling title match. Minoru Suzuki defeating the God damn it. Suzuki defeating Owens, Shima, and Yano. Shima coming out with El Lindemann and T-Hawk, making sure they get that GLEAT in there. Chase Owens and Yano, of course. And it was Suzuki that won. Suzuki did not seem to care about that trophy. Just wanted to beat up people. I am very intrigued about what this means about that title moving forward. You would think that, like, you know, maybe it's just going to go back to Yano at some point, but I really like this idea of Suzuki. Like, Suzuki's putting up the gimmick. He would put up a gimmick match or whatever. So I feel like Suzuki might just like constantly put up catch wrestling.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's going to make KOPW feel important for like a couple months, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Suzuki's great. I mean, he's great. Him and Shima had some really good parts in this match. The match may be the best KOPW match of all time, which isn't saying much.
Small list. It's a small list.
It's a very small list. But I'm happy he won because it gives him something to do, and it makes me care about that damn cup. So.
Yeah, and I like you said, I thought Shima was also great in this match. I would love to see Shima more.
Shima's very good.
Shima's still really good. His meteoras were outstanding. Chase Owens did a solid job here. Chase Owens, good base.
He also got himself 2 Tokyo Dome paydays. Nothing but respect. And he never lost. He didn't get pinned. Like, he didn't get pinned.
Yeah.
Which is just amazing. He was like, okay, I'm gonna get my GLEAT guys on here, right? I'm gonna get GLEAT on the big, Tron.
Yeah.
And I'm never getting pinned. I'm gonna get him paid. So
yep.
Shima's great. I would love if Shima was a T-Hawk and Lindemann, you said?
Yep.
I love if they just like wrestled in New Japan because they're good.
Yeah, I would not be I wouldn't be surprised if we eventually get Strong Hearts versus House of Torture as some sort of never open weight title match.
And I know GLEAT GLEAT and New Japan have worked together in the past, so hopefully this just continues. GLEAT did some real talent.
Yeah, I mean, right off the bat with Shima, Lindemann, and T-Hawk. I mean, that's just outstanding guys right there. They're just 3 outstanding workers that just need to be in bigger spots, really.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've been in like almost every promotion basically at this point.
Yeah, and they're part of that.
At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Shima in the Rumble.
Remember OWE?
Who?
Remember that?
Remember
and then they were like, you know what?
SCU showed up?
Now we're gleated.
Now we got Glee. Never open weight 6-man tag team title match. House of Torture retain those titles of Evil Show and Yujiro Takahashi against Hiroki Goto, Yo, and Yoshihashi. If people dunk it on Evil and Ishii, I thought this match was worse.
Wow. I didn't think it was worse. I thought it was fine. I thought, it was fine. It was just there. Like, that's kind of how I felt about both Never titles. I was just like, okay, whatever. Let's move on. I don't care. I know who's winning. So
yeah. I do think though that the amount of House of Torture heat, the style of heat gathering, I think works better in like a trios match than it does in a single match. Because there are more people and because it is more chaotic, that style of generating heat I think works better.
Yeah. And Yujiro is there. I always forget he's in House of Torture because, like,
Yujiro sucks.
Yujiro sucks. What did you just say?
Yujiro sucks.
Wow. How dare you say that about Yujiro? Yujiro had that pretty fun match with Kota Ibushi in the G1. Remember when he beat him?
Oh, yeah.
Big juice.
Oh, that was a pretty good match, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he's just kind of there.
I love the entrance where Dick Togo comes out with all the titles.
Dick Togo's great.
If that doesn't sum up Dick Togo's power grab in the New Japan office, I don't know what will.
He's like, these are the only titles that Gato's allowed me to have, so I'm holding them all.
Yeah, these are mine.
House of Torture. What a time.
God, House of Torture.
House of Torture is never going away until Jay White comes back, by the way. I hope everyone knows that.
You're probably right. It does feel like we're just waiting. All of it, like it does feel like that the only person that could potentially save us from House of Torture is Jay White. And at this rate, I have no idea when that is happening.
Yeah, maybe a House of Torture will come to the States. I have to fly myself to California for that.
God, I would actually like that. I'm going to say this right here. I would actually like if House of Torture came to the States.
They'd be the biggest freaking heels in the country.
Yeah, because I want to hear the booze. I want to hear how much booze they get, right? Like it might be go away heat, but if they're making noise, it's still heat, right?
Mm-hmm. They love heat.
I'm talking a lot of heat. What am I? What are
you? The prelim show to Monday Night Raw?
What am I? A Toro Yano fan account on Twitter?
What are you? House of Torture?
What am I? A frying pan? Gotta.
What are you? A fire pit?
We're getting worse.
Yeah, we gotta stop.
Sonata defeated Great O-Khan in a one-on-one match in 13 minutes and 21 seconds.
This happened.
I like this.
I did too.
I like this match.
Forgot about it till you told me though.
I thought it was a pretty good match. I really enjoyed I'm enjoying the idea that Great O-Khan is the expert at everything, right? But he's not that is the character of Great O-Khan, right? He's an expert at everything, but he doesn't seem to be a master of anything because he wants to divert all of his interest. So
I loved him doing the plancha, and then the moonsault, and then proceeding to lose.
The moonsault finish was great. I love the plancha, teasing it and then just doing it. Sonata being like, "Oh wait, shit, what?" Just being real scared about it. And then that moonsault finish, he goes for the moonsault, and then hits it, and then gets rolled up practically immediately and loses the match. I thought that was good, a good surprise finish that I literally was not expecting.
Sonata's king of winning just random singles matches against the heel of the day at Wrestle Kingdom. He did it. He beat Evil last year.
Yeah, I went. Where are we going with Sonata? What are we doing with Sonata? Come on.
I mean, we're gonna get the Okada match because it's a guarantee. He's gonna get the match. He always does. Never fails. So that's happening. Sonata is such an interesting case because some matches I'll watch of his, I'm like, he could be really good. And then I'll watch him versus Okada and I'm like, I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
And it's just never ends. It's a cycle that never ends. And I have no idea if he'll ever actually win the big one. Probably not at this point, which is crazy because there was a point when him and Evil were teaming where I was like, oh, Sonata's clearly going to be, IWGP heavyweight champion, yada, yada, yada. Now I have no clue. Probably not.
He was a guy I always pegged as an IC title holder.
Well, that's not happening.
Yeah, and weirdly enough, I do not peg him as a U.S. title holder.
No. The U.S. titles is weird. They kind of just put it on big names, which is fine because big names are usually good names.
But like Kevin Kelly said, it's kind of turning into a hardcore division, that title.
Yeah, it is. It really is, which is cool, which is a good spot for that title. Yeah, it's not as weird. I mean, he's going to keep getting title opportunities. He was in the finals of the G1 2 years ago. So, clearly there's still some care there for him.
Yeah.
But I just don't see him ever getting the big one.
Yeah, I agree. Tetsuya Naito defeated Jeff Cobb in 15 minutes and 34 seconds. Jeff Cobb, of course, the reports went out that he got injured during the match, probably before the match, actually. But boy, howdy, in this match, was he injured. He was not moving at all. It was tough to watch.
I figured he was selling. That whole time, I was like, oh, he's just really good at selling. The knee, he was hobbling, and I was like, man, he's really good at this. Little did we know he actually couldn't, move. He did his best to get through it. And Naito, is very smart in the way he works. They took advantage of the injury, which, probably didn't help the poor guy's knee. But Naito's very smart, and he makes the little things feel more important. This was not your typical Naito Wrestle Kingdom match. It wasn't a super title match that he often had or has had as of the past couple of years.
Yeah.
But it was very smart worked, and for Cobb not being able to move, they did the best they could.
Yeah, I thought it was easily the best that they could have done here. I thought it was a fine match.
It ended up being, I thought by the end it was still a good match. That's how good they were able to make it work.
Yeah,
despite the limitations of him not having a knee.
Yeah, but here's the Jeff Cobb. Hopefully, he can get healed up sooner rather than later.
Speaking of healed up.
IWGP US heavyweight title match and a no disqualification match. Hiroshi Tanahashi defeated Kenta, took his title, put him on the shelf, put him to bed, said, this is mine now. I'm going back to the States, and I'm going to beat up Jon Moxley. I'm going to beat up Fred Rosser. I'm going to beat up Tom Lawler. I'm going to do all that stuff because I'm Tanahashi. Damn it.
Yeah, I loved this match probably more than a lot of people because I like the story behind it of Tanahashi just kind of hating every moment of him having to hit people with weapons. Because you could just see it on his face, and he was just like, if they do this, because I need to win. And, even after in the press match and in the post-match press conference where he was like, I hated every moment of that. That's not my professional wrestling, but he did what he had to do to win. And I thought Kenta's very good at being not a chicken shit heel, but a heel that, is he's very funny. When he was yelling about the ladder and stuff, it was pretty much just him being how I would feel if I was doing it. And I thought they had some really good spots. It was a lot of plunder, of course. Most of the match was plunder, but for plunder, it was a really good plunder match compared to what we'll be talking about in Hard to Kill. So, and I mean, the highest fly flow, as they're calling it, was awesome. It was just picture perfect.
Yeah, I mean, this match was pretty good. I think it definitely, if you've seen the GIFs, then you more than likely have seen the match. Because the match lived and died on pushing Kenta off the ladder onto a trash can and busting him open, and then putting him on and then doing the highest fly flow off the ladder through a table, which cut up Kenta even more.
Tanahashi, man.
Yeah.
He's so good still. Even though, commentary wants you to think like he's gone and retired at the age of like 40.
In an alternate universe, he's like a New Japan dad, I think. But I think with the COVID and everything, they had to bring him back up into the cycle.
He should not be the New Japan dad yet. I just want to put that out there. Like, he is way too good to be a New Japan dad. I mean, he had a great year last year with his matches with Shingo. And this was just, I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun watching this because watching, the mindset of Tanahashi kind of change. And he even brought out a damn guitar, which was just so funny. Smash Kenta with that thing. It was really good plunder for the spots that they got. I mean, some of it was slow because you have to set things up and whatnot.
Sure.
But that ladder fall when Kenta fell, I was like, oh, that wasn't clean at all.
Yeah, no, it was not. It was certainly not. And that here's to Kenta. Hopefully he can heal up. Obviously he was missed the New Japan Noah show.
But devastating.
Yeah, it felt like he was like there was this new wave of Kenta-ness, and I was like, oh baby, here we go. But there we go.
He was very old school Kenta in that Noah match, by the way, for anyone that didn't see it.
Oh yeah. We'll potentially get to it. I guess we'll see. Kazuchika Okada. Yeah, Kazuchika Okada defeated Will Osprey to become the official one person only IWGP World Heavyweight Champion in 32 minutes and 52 seconds. This match was outstanding. This match, I think, was match of the 2 nights easily.
Mm-hmm.
Match is really great. What'd you rate this match, Scotty?
I think I went 4 3/4.
I did 4.5.
Yeah, I think it's my match of the year so far. It's very close with another one, but it was very good, and they didn't go too long. They didn't overstay their welcome, which I think is a big thing for me in these New Japan main events. Sometimes they stay too long. I think the story was simple. It was, Osprey versus Okada, who is the true champion, 1 year after they fought at Wrestle Kingdom. And I thought, we talked about it before the show even started. Osprey is a very interesting case of a lot of people don't separate the outside, the artist from the,
art.
The art. And he's very good at the art. He's very good at the art of professional wrestling. I mean, he did a moonsault from the damn what's the thing called?
The metal tower.
Yeah,
steel beam.
Did an insane moonsault.
The truss?
Yeah, that sounds right. Just picture perfect too. And I mean, I am a sucker for the hidden blade. I don't know why. I just love that move because I legitimately believe that destroys people.
Yeah.
So when he hit that, I was like, oh shit. Okada hit a perfect Stormbreaker.
I was gonna bring that up. That Stormbreaker just came out of nowhere. Okada nailed it.
This is the match where I was like, okay, see, this is Okada. This is full on main event Wrestle Kingdom Okada. He was tremendous in this, as was Osprey. They just had some great back and forth. I know a lot of people also an Osprey gripe is he hits a lot of big moves and yada yada yada, but that's literally his move set, and that's what every wrestler does that's good.
Is that a bad thing too?
Is it? Yeah, what do you want the match to be boring?
I love complaints that are I want people a lot of times complain, and they basically the argument is I just want the match to be more boring. I want less things to happen.
It's like if they watched Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle from SummerSlam 2002, and they're like, they did too many big moves in that 9-minute sprint. You know what they should have done?
A
headlock.
Where are the rest holds? I was the rest holds are not for them, it's for me.
Yeah, I saw someone legitimately tweet like, Osprey hit all the big moves to make Dave, give the 5-star rating. I was like, that's not at all.
What a weird conspiracy theorist.
I was like, what are you talking about, dude? Osprey that's how he wrestles. It's his moveset. He's a high flyer who also just has these really hard hitting attacks. And I was just like, okay, whatever. You must hate Ricochet then.
What are you talking about? I love Ricochet. Remember when he kicked that guy's nose in?
Oh yeah, great, awesome. But this was fantastic. Osprey said after he's gonna stay in New Japan, which I didn't question. I figured he would.
The only question I had about that is no United Empire guys on the Noah show, right?
No, not a single one.
Very
well. Jeff Cobb being hurt didn't help, but he wasn't on it anyways.
Yeah, so. But I remember Will Ospreay was talking about I want to take on Manfredi, and Manfredi was like, I want to take on Ospreay, and then that didn't happen. What
people forget as well, with Ospreay, I'm not trying to defend Ospreay here. I'm going to hear it from maybe one person. Don't really care. Everyone's beloved American Dragon. The rumors are that the number one match he wants out of every match in the world is against Will Ospreay.
Yeah.
I feel like that tells you a lot about who's a good wrestler and who's not. Bryan Danielson...
It's like Osprey Omega. That's the guys I want to face.
Yeah, and...
Okada, who? Tanahashi, whom?
I mean, Okada said this week he'd like to fight Danielson and CM Punk, and I was like, Okada, you can't just be teasing us like that. But yeah, this match was tremendous. Perfect ending. Okada wins. Okada is now the champion, and Okada now leads New Japan, hopefully back to the top of excitement. And hopefully next year, Wrestle Kingdom, more people are excited. I don't have to see 100 tweets of, no one's talking about Wrestle Kingdom today. And I was like, shut up. Yes, you are. You're literally tweeting it right now.
No one's talking about how underrated Ishii is, right?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Please don't. Please don't. You know who's underrated? Will
Ospreay.
That's not even close to true. that might be it. No.
Well, it's the art from the artist thing that we talked about, and I get it. I get it if you can't. I do not blame you. There are obviously wrestlers I have the line on. The argument we were making before we were talking the show is just wrestling is not a moral business. It never has, and never will be. There are certain lines you have to dissolve if you want to be a wrestling fan. And there's certain lines you also have to be a fan of anything in general. If you want to be a fan of football, you have to be okay with potentially, a Super Bowl where the main quarterback is not in it because he's doesn't like lockdowns or whatever the fuck. If you want to be in this, you want to see a outstanding wrestling match, and you kind of have to be okay that this one guy is friends with a dude that did something bad.
Just remember that a lot of people call Ric Flair the greatest of all time. Come back and talk to me.
Still call him that.
So yeah, come back and talk to me when you guys realize what Ric Flair's done compared to a lot of other people.
Yeah. And also, that really sounds like we're defending these guys.
No, I'm just saying,
it's a hard argument to have.
I strongly dislike Ric Flair. I will not lie about it.
Me too.
But he's done a lot of bad things.
Out of context, we're gonna get buried.
Yeah, it's fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ric
Flair.
We're gonna get clipped.
Becky Lynch is the man, by the way. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
You're not the man. Becky Lynch is the man. Well, she's now big time Bex because of you, but
yeah,
I just want.
Yeah, fuck Car Shield.
Yeah, fuck Ric Flair. All right, and that was the Wrestle Kingdom review. I guess we'll talk about the Noah show real quick.
I haven't seen the Noah show. Have you seen much of the news?
I saw the main event, and I saw Inamura and Ishii absolutely fucking wreck each other. All I thought was, I was like, this is beef. This is absolute beef.
Yeah.
It was the most heart I've seen Ishii have in ever.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. I at both in both of those post match things, both of those guys were like, I want to wrestle that guy more.
Yeah, a lot of the Noah New Japan like fallout was like, yeah, we all want to keep wrestling each other.
Yeah, so the report was that originally, I believe this is also from Voices of Wrestling, that
Yeah, it's always something.
it's always something. They always got a guy in there.
Well, we know who, but that's fine.
Yeah, originally they were going to originally do singles matches up and down the card, and then apparently Noah got cold feet, and then it became a bunch of tag team matches.
That they still lost.
They still lost the majority of, but I would have preferred if it was singles matches. I think obviously anyone could have, but let's talk about the main event real quick, Scotty, because we've already gone over an hour. Let's talk about the main event real quick. Hiroshi Tanahashi, Kazuchika Okada defeating the team of Kaito Kiyomiya and Keiji Muto.
I can be very when I started watching Noah, second Noah match I ever watched was Keiji Muto versus Kaito Kiyomiya, which, debatable bold move by me for my second Noah match to be Keiji Muto. But, at the age of 59. But my bigger problem was with Kaito because he is clearly the guy they want as their young ace. And it makes sense. He has the look and he's good and, all that jazz. And he's Noah for life, Wolfpack for life, whatever. But I always watched his match. I was like, he's kind of boring. He kind of just doesn't do it for me. He's already won the GHC heavyweight title. He's already, has all these accolades already at the age of 25. But I was like, I don't know. I need more from him. And anyone that's been following, his dream match of sorts was with Mr. Kazuchika Okada, which, understandable. So he finally gets it here. And if you've been following the story between him and Muto, it's that Muto has kind of been like trying to push Kiyomiya to be greater. He can't beat Muto, but this is his spot to finally show and, prove it against Okada and Tanahashi. And Okada and Tanahashi, if someone told me, the two best wrestlers of all time are Hiroshi Tanahashi and Okada, I'd be like, okay, I can believe your take. I'm not going to fight that whatsoever because they're both all-time greats. And this was a chance for Kaito to prove himself. And he had more fire and more passion in this match than I have ever seen from him before. He had a great week. I will say that his match with Kino was from the new year was also great. But this was, you could just tell it was big to him. And Muto played like that father figure to him throughout the entire match. And Okada and Tanahashi were just so good at being like absolute jerks to him. And after the match, Okada was like, now what are you going to do? Prove yourself that this is, your launching point, not that, don't falter from this. And he yelled at him something. And I think that's what Chris Charlton pretty much said. But it was a really good main event for a match. Like you said, it's tag team matches. We had a lot of singles matches, but they really did something good here. They told the story for Kaito, which is big time for Noah. They might have lost the match because, of course, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion and the IWGP United States Champion weren't losing, but they really told a good story, and I think it will only help Kaito long term. Definitely a match worth checking out because there's a lot of story behind it.
It felt like it based on like Twitter reaction. It felt like there was a lot of story, but also a lot of Noah seed planting.
Yeah, which is smart on their behalf. And also like Okada and Tanahashi are just so good together in like every situation. So like them working together was really fun. And I really hope New Japan and Noah keep working together because I could tell the wrestlers were enjoying it. Like Shingo a low-key challenged for the GHC heavyweight title, which don't get my hopes up. Because Nakajima versus Shingo would be insane.
Yeah. I think they can do some of those singles matches. I don't think you have anyone win any titles, but just do a bunch of those titles. Like just do it.
I could see them do one title change, but
it would be like the junior title or something.
Right. Yeah, and like what do they care? Like what does New Japan care if Shingo goes to Noah and loses? It's not like you're sending Okada to lose. No offense to Shingo, but like I don't think they care enough about a Shingo world title loss.
It just happened on Wrestle Kingdom Night 1.
Yeah, like I don't think they care enough that he loses to Katsuhiko Nakajima.
What's the difference between losing a second one against an opponent he has no relationship to or no connection? You know what I'm saying? Like, why not?
Yeah.
What's it gonna hurt?
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear it was good. I'm glad to hear that the match was good itself. I want to check it out. Obviously, it's not on New Japan World yet. It's going to be next
I heard
week.
the semi-main's also great.
That's good. I'm
with LIJ and Congo.
You and I, our goal is to get more into Noah this year. So I feel like that was a good starting point for Noah. It definitely feels like that.
Although I saw that Go Shiozaki and Kitamiya defeated House of Torture. And everyone was like, they did it in their first try. What's your excuse, New Japan? And I was like, that's pretty fun.
That's great. That
helps that Dick Togo was actually in the match.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Dick Togo was there. Let's move on. Let's talk about we don't have a lot of time left, but let's talk about the NXT cut.
We started late. We started 30 minutes late, so we're only
hour and a half. Almost out. Oh, well, we didn't start immediately, so my timer has us at an hour 23. So we're going slow. So let's kick it up a notch. NXT. Not really NXT proper, but more so that the WWE Performance Center earlier this week cut many of its behind-the-scenes coaches and talents. Some talents that were in front of the screen but kind of became coaches. That list from January 5th were Danny Burch, Timothy Thatcher, Hideki Suzuki, William Regal, Samoa Joe, Kathy Carino, Scott Armstrong, George Carroll, Ryan Katz, Dave Kapoor. Dave Kapoor, he used to be the Great Khali translator dude.
Rajan Singh.
Road Dogg, Brian James, and Ace Steel. So, Scotty, what are your... I feel like the immediate reaction is, well, that sucks for all those guys. But what do you think more so? I think the more interesting talking point is that what do you think this says about the future of NXT?
Well, they signed P.D. Williams. So I have no idea.
Did they sign them to the Performance Center or to WWE?
I don't know. I think he's an agent, but the way people made it sound was like he was going to be part of the new NXT like growth, and I got very confused. I guess there's no like serious thing.
I'll look into it.
I thought it wasn't shocking because William Regal's role, I know he's a great wrestler, he's a great teacher, but a lot of his role was to be a indie scout of sorts. That's what he was for a long time. And they're no longer looking for independent wrestlers to fill their developmental. They're looking for athletes and some indie wrestlers. It depends, they'll sprinkle in one or two, but William Regal's role had definitely diminished. And once he was released, I was like, okay, well, Samoa Joe's coming. I mean, he has to be.
Yeah,
he's part of that clique, and Timothy Thatcher and Hideki Suzuki. It's a new change. I definitely know like why a lot of people got angry about it, because WWE releases so many people and it sucks, and releasing William Regal is questionable because he can offer you so much.
Yeah,
but I wasn't surprised.
At this point, I don't think we can be surprised. It looks like P.D. Williams is signed as a WWE producer, not necessarily Performance Center kind of guy.
That's wild to me.
Yeah. There's obviously the big talking point is that how much of like this is just Triple H's guys, that Triple H was 5 years ago set up to potentially take the company. He was the exit strategy, right? If Vince McMahon ever, break in case of emergency, Triple H is ready and willing and able to, waiting in the wings practically to get it in there. Now that whole second plan there has collapsed and evaporated into Thanos dust. Like it is nothing now. There is seemingly no new plan to replace Vince McMahon in case he croaks suddenly. Like there is nothing now.
No.
Or seemingly nothing now, I guess. There's some talents in there like Birch, Thatcher, Suzuki. I wouldn't be surprised. We're definitely going to see all three of those guys wrestle again. Not be surprised wherever. I don't have a vibe check on where those guys will be. Samoa Joe, maybe he'll wrestle, but I think maybe he'll be more of a player coach. If people think he's going to wrestle, but also I don't know. He's up there in age, and also he's constantly injured and whatnot.
He's going to AEW, bro.
I think he's going to AEW. I think he's
let's not get crazy.
No, that's my point. I think he's going to AEW as like a player coach kind of guy.
Yeah, I can see that.
But also, if I was AEW and I had to pick between two big guys, I would pick Keith Lee over Samoa Joe.
I think he just picked both.
That's also true.
Because I think it's very different. I think true. Samoa Joe's the name. You bring in Samoa Joe as like, hey, we have Samoa Joe and CM Punk on the same roster, guys. Mm-hmm. And then you bring Keith Lee because Keith Lee can offer you a lot as a current talent.
And the Bearcat is such an over gimmick that you have to bring the Bearcat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Samoa Joe's just great. Like he could wrestle once every couple months. And
yeah, I think that's
I wouldn't bat an eye.
I think you bring him in and have him win the FTW title.
That'd be great. That would actually be great. I love that. And I mean, they're gonna do Joe versus Punk again. It's coming.
Yeah.
They one more time before they hang it up. Just feels, and they'll probably have a great match because Joe may not be what he was then, and CM Punk's not what he was then. But one thing they are great at is they are great professional wrestlers that can do the old school stuff and make you, understand this is a great match without the crazy moves, which is funny because we just talked about the big moves and whatnot.
I also think you easily, if I was AEW, if I was any company, and if he was willing to do it, bring in William Regal. I think that's an easy pick, especially with AEW of how they're kind of sort of transitioning more into this sort of mat wrestling style of Bryan Danielson, Lee Moriarty, Daniel Garcia, etc., etc., etc. I think you bring in William Regal. Plus, he can be more of a talent scout. I mean, he talent scouted obviously they had the money and the brand name behind it, and there was no other competition, but he talent scouted the indies and picked up one of the best rosters of all time, right? In WWE's lifetime. One of them, I would argue. So I think he's an easy pick. These guys in here, I think they could help out if they want to continue helping out. I don't think you pick up Road Dogg Brian James. I think you kick him to the curb. I think Kathy Carino is very bad firing. She literally moved her entire family across the country like a month ago, and then like a month later got fired. That sucks. There's a video also on WWE's YouTube channel. I don't know if I can find the exact video, but basically it was released 2 weeks ago. Scotty, it was released 2 weeks ago. It is a YouTube video on WWE's website going over the December tryouts. The one where like Alec Price and Roxy were at?
Yeah.
It was going over those tryouts. There's a shot where Joe, William Regal, and two other guys that were fired are sitting all at a table. You might have seen that image passed around. They do an interview with Kathy Carino, and I'm just like, oh my god! It feels like they brought her in for that one video and then cut her. Like, what are we doing? And then also, who else is there? John Laurinaitis. He's watching all this. He's there. He's getting interviewed. He's like, yeah, we're looking for the next great talent. I can't do the voice, but it's just great. And also, I had this other thought watching that video. So they're doing these tryout sessions, right? And like they have like wrestlers there to help. But the wrestlers are Caden Carter and then Imperium. Fabian Eichner and Marcel Bartel, right? Why aren't they like? Why don't you bring in like Cesaro or like Drew Gulak? No, why don't you bring in people from the main roster? Like optic wise, why are the people in the developmental center helping train the next
potential
people?
Developmental?
Yeah, according to WWE, they haven't figured it out yet. Like I don't necessarily think I think Imperium have figured it out. I don't necessarily think Caden Carter has gotten there yet. But like, why don't you bring in some main roster guys? Drew Gulak, Natalia. Why not? I don't understand why we're not doing that. Natalia's training people. Drew Gulak helps people. He helped I think Ronda or something.
You would think they would do that. I don't know.
I don't get it.
I don't know. We've probably given too much thought about all this. It sucks for those who were released. They'll all be okay. They'll all find jobs. William Regal's one of the best. Samoa Joe's gonna be fine. Timothy Thatcher is very good. Hideki Suzuki, I guess he went there to be a trainer because he never ever even came close to wrestling a match. So I guess he legitimately went there to be a trainer.
Yeah.
He'll probably go back to Japan if I had to guess.
Yeah.
I wish the best for all of them. Sucks, but this is a monthly occurrence. So we'll see you again next month, ladies and gentlemen.
You may be kind of joking a little bit here, Scotty, but I mean
it is a monthly occurrence.
Well, the quarterly reports are coming up, and if the rumors are correct, rumors are to be believed, every quarter there are going to be some releases.
You know what that means?
I mean,
Roman Reigns,
not necessarily main roster people, but certainly like NXT people.
Roman Reigns versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship.
For the Roman Reigns Championship. I'm putting that out there, folks. And
they had to bring a Raw person over for him to have a Royal Rumble match, so I think that tells you a lot.
Well, and to be in their fairness, that got all screwed up because Roman couldn't make it to day one.
No, not in all their fairness. They released the entire main event scene on SmackDown, except for Drew McIntyre, who's hurt.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
well, we've been going for about
they could suck an egg.
We've been going for about an hour and a half. We got 3 topics left. What are we doing here?
What are the topics?
We got AEW TBS debut / Battle of the Belts, Impact Hard to Kill, Noah New Year show.
We'll probably skip Noah if we had to.
Yeah, sure. I've watched.
Because it happened on January the 1st.
Oh, that's right. That it happened on January 1st. That's a super old show at this point.
How did you? Okay, I'll do it real quick. How did you like the 2 final matches?
I have not seen the 2 final matches.
Then we don't have to talk about it.
Fair enough. I watched the last match I watched was the Kenta tag,
that's a great one too.
Which was great. I thought Kenta and who was the other guy? Inamura just was. God, that Inamura where he just comes in out of no, he just they're fighting on the outside and Kenta just wallops him. And then Kiyomiya comes over and just he's like, get out of here. Starts slapping him. Get out of here. And Kenta's like, okay, we're walking out. And then Kenta's back in the ring. Iamura finally gets up and then just goes to the ring and just decks Kenta. Oh my god.
Yeah, that shit was great.
It was the entire match was just a normal match, but then this whole thing was a combustible element was happening in the side. I thought that whole element. I don't know what was happening. I don't know what aspect of it was a work versus shoot. I don't know what was happening, but it was just there's just one aspect that was completely combustible and just, oh man, that was good. That was so good.
Yeah, Kenta's definitely not done with Noah. I think that's the biggest guarantee.
I feel like if he wasn't injured, we would certainly see more. I mean,
yeah, I think he'll go back though.
Do you think with Kenta being out, they might send over a different person to Noah?
I can see it.
I mean, no one else has a connection, do they? Well, I mean, actually, I take that back. I take that back. All of Suzuki-gun has a connection.
Yeah, they all do. Taiji Shimori was there for a while.
Zack Sabre Jr. Was tag title holders with Ogawa.
I mean, there's definitely people they could send over if they want, but I mean, Kenta's debatably the greatest. Well, he's not Misawa or Kobashi, but like
he's good.
He's in the top 5 like best Noah ever. So and when you're behind Misawa and Kobashi, it's like, oh well, that's fair. But yeah, watch the last 2 matches. That's all I'm going to tell people is watch Kino versus Kaito Kiyomiya. And please watch Katsuhiko Nakajima versus Go Shiozaki. That match is
match of the year.
I have it just behind Okada and Osprey, which probably neither will win match of the year by the end of the year for me. But still great.
Stardom hasn't had a lot of matches yet.
No, and I still have to go watch Momo versus Zumi but that's not going to be better. But I still have to, they have a lot going on. By the way, Starter Moves. We have a new tag team champions. Woo.
Oh yeah, Kagama and Hazuki, right?
Hell yeah.
When is Julia and Tekla picking up those titles?
And they'll probably beat whoever beats Hazuki and Kagama, truthfully. Because Tekla. Had to give her some respect.
I'm
big star,
big Tekla guy. Move over, Micah. Move over,
Death.
Fukigen Death. My top 2. Move over, Micah. Move over, Fukigen Death. Tekla, baby. There we go. Tekla. I'm here. I'm on the Tekla gang. Strong.
Yeah, Tekla's great. The Toxic Spider. She's fantastic. What a great debut. Send Tekla. But yeah, we can get to I forgot what we were talking about. What was next? Battle of the Belts?
We can either do AEW or Impact. I mean, did you want to do that bonus bit?
We can do the AEW, I guess, for bonus if you want.
Sure, we can do that.
So we'll do Hard to Kill.
Yes, we'll do Hard to Kill. So
unless we don't go long enough.
No, we'll get to that. I think we'll go long enough. I think we'll be fine. But potentially, folks, I guess we're gonna do. We don't have a name for it yet. Maybe we'll have one by the time I upload it. But basically, we're gonna potentially talk about AEW TBS debut / Battle of the Belts. Not on the Ring Post Radio episode proper. What we're going to be talking about is on part of a bonus episode. If you want to head on over to countout.com, and you can join the family membership for $5 a month. You get a bunch of bonus episodes. There's a bunch of bonus episodes from every podcast, so you can listen to every bonus episode that every other podcast has. There's a lot of good content in there, and we're going to be putting, if we have times, this is an original concept that no other podcast has ever done, but in case we ran over the amount of time that we have allotted, then that's the idea. That there's that bonus audio in the breaking case of urgency bonus audio and that $5 family membership on countout.com. Countoutpod.com. Countoutpod.com.
Yeah. This is like the 1 week that we have to go heavy over, like big time. We probably won't do this again for like a month at least.
Yeah, I mean, probably not. I mean, there's a probably not for a while. I don't know. I looked up, and by the way, next week that we have the Terminus stuff, but also we have to preview. There's gonna be a Noah show where it's Kiyomiya versus Nakajima. I think
it's Nakajima versus Kiyomiya. Yeah, that's gonna be great. Main event. Oh.
I was trying to see if maybe we should get countout.com. Do you want to guess how much that domain is?
No.
It is apparently, according to hugedomains.com, who owns it, countout.com, it can buy now for $3,000. So if we get a couple more family memberships, maybe we'll get countout.com. But yeah, countoutpod.com. I believe if you just went countoutpod.com, doing the hard sell, folks. Countoutpod.com, I believe it's in that top area. Yeah, if you click on membership, it's countoutpod.com/membership. Become a member, put in your information, $5 a month. You'll get the bonus episode stuff, bonus audio of Ring Post Radio, along with a bunch of other audio from every other show. It's a ginormous, great deal. that you should take advantage. Again, countoutpod.com/membership. Anyways, Impact, hard to kill. Scotty, I feel like we have to talk about it, especially since you stayed up to like 2, 4, 5, 6 in the morning to watch it.
I did the deed, ladies and gentlemen. I, for some reason, put myself through an entire Impact pay-per-view after getting home at midnight from work. I decided in my head, you know what? The show's important. I watched Battle of the Belts first, and then I watched this. And I don't know, guys, if you've heard me talk about AEW pay-per-views on this show, not AEW. AEW is different. Impact pay-per-views on this show, I almost always walk away disappointed. Almost always.
That our last Impact where we talked about Moose versus Josh Alexander.
Oh my God, I'm so disappointed. So, going into this one probably wasn't the best plan because...
You know how excited... I want to tell you real quick. You know how excited folks Scotty was about burying this show? He was ready. He was ready to bury this show.
And I was worried. Because they had a good opener, the pre-show. They had the X Division match. They had Jonah versus Josh Alexander. They had Gresham versus Sabin. Something else I'm missing. I was worried that I was like, oh my God, am I not gonna bury Impact today? Oh, don't you worry. Don't you worry. They always deliver. They always give me something, and we will get to that soon enough.
But I think despite what you're kind of referencing, I think this show was pretty goddamn good.
Yeah.
Like, it was, right now the show has an 8.55 on Cage Match, which that's pretty good. That's what, 4 and a quarter right there.
You know what's my biggest complaint with Impact?
What's that?
They suck. No, I'm not done. At pushing the right talent. They absolutely suck at it. This opening pre-show match had Chris Bay, Ace Austin, Laredo Kid, and Mike Bailey. Mike Bailey, I'll give them an excuse. He just signed there. That's, whatever.
Sure.
Laredo Kid, he comes and goes. But Ace Austin and Chris Bay should be two, key guys you put in your main event picture. I don't know how they haven't done this with Ace Austin enough yet, seeing he's been there forever.
Yeah.
And they just put him on the pre-show. This is what's the problem with Impact. I mean, they had a great Fatal 4-Way. It was a great time. Mm-hmm. Bailey was a star. Ace Austin did his stuff. Chris Bay is great. Laredo Kid's great. They did great stuff. But I just sat there and I'm like, the world title match. The world title match has 2 WWE failures and Moose. That's what this is.
Hey, slow down.
Build your own talent. That's what I'm saying. Build your own talent.
Slow down, man. We'll get to that when we get to it. Let's start off. First off,
I will give Matt Cardona credit though. He was good at GCW.
Ultimate X match. Tasha Steelz wins it. That means she gets the future Impact World Women's title match against Mickie James at some point. It's Tasha Steelz defeating Alicia Edwards, Chelsea Green, Jordynne Grace, Lady Frost, and Rosemary. I watched this match. To me. I missed this match last night, so I watched it this morning. It was fine. It was perfectly solid, perfectly fine. It felt like the match was really just Jordynne Grace. I felt like I didn't see Lady Frost there. It felt like Jordynne Grace and Tasha Steelz were really doing everything. And then Alicia Edwards beat up people with a kendo stick at once, climbed the thing and beat up Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green climbed the thing of Alicia Edwards and drop kicked someone. And then
murdered Tasha Steelz because she was trying to climb the cord too quick.
Yeah. Jordynne Grace was the one actually making moves, it feels like.
Lady Frost did do that cool moonsault, though. She did do that.
And that's all I remember. And Rosemary, all I remember is her climb on top of Havoc to try to get to it.
I forgot Rosemary's in the match till you just said it.
But I thought it was perfectly fine, this match. They had cool spots, but it just stuff that wasn't necessarily clickable.
Yeah. The sky high, sit out power bomb spot from the cords was awesome.
Yeah.
That was insane. And they picked the right person. They picked the one person I wanted to win. So good for Tasha Steelz.
Yeah, I feel like that was a theme all night. Is I think this pay-per-view, what I liked about it is that it felt like they picked the right person every time.
Yeah, what's that like in Impact?
I don't know, man. It's that WWE.
They picked influence. Mike Bailey in the pre-show match too, which right choice because he's kind of a relatively big signing for them.
Also, Jake Something and Madman Fulton were in that pre-show. And what happening with Jake Something? Jake Something's great. Why is he?
Yeah, Jake Something was in the Fatal 4-Way, and then they were like, "Nah, Mike Bailey's here. Let's just take Jake Something."
I don't know what's happening with Jake Something, but he is not. I don't know.
He's right now Jake Nothing.
God damn it. Anyways, Ultimate next match was pretty good. I agree. Tasha Steelz was good spots. Good spots. It was fine for the most part, but good spots are what helped it. Lived up to that potential. Impact X Division title match: Trey Miguel, Steve Macklin. The match started with a bunch of outside not interference, but outside fighting. Eventually, the match started, and boy, howdy, was this match turned into a barn burner.
Why the fuck is Steve Macklin so good?
He's good. He's so good. He's got.
I was sitting there just thinking that the whole time.
He's got that like Punisher energy, Yeah. He's got that Punisher energy versus Spider-Man Trey Miguel, which I'm sure that's what they were going for here. Trey Miguel, outstanding work. But Steve Macklin, boy, howdy. Every Steve Macklin match I see is like, man, this guy's good. Why is he this good, man?
Why was he so vanilla in WWE? Like, why was he as vanilla as possible? When he was in WWE, I was like, this guy definitely has no personality. He's definitely not that great in the ring. And now he's like doing all this stuff, and he hit that weird spear on Miguel when he was like hanging upside down, and they just like died in the ropes. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
like
I love
this match was great.
I love
this was really good.
This is a really good match. Steve Macklin was outstanding. Trey Miguel obviously retains the title here. Maybe we'll get that Chris Bay, Ace Austin stuff in there.
Bay.
God damn, this match. It was just like when I saw this match, it was just a surprise. Like I was slacking you, and I was just like, man, this match is good. I don't know what happened. This match is real solid.
I learned if you go into an Impact pay-per-view just assuming the worst, almost always you walk out better than expected. And I think that for the most part, that's how I felt about this show.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. I can probably agree with that. Ring of Honor World Title match, of course. Not even a course, but who would have expected Ring of Honor having a world title match here? It was also a pure rules match, of course, in accordance to Jonathan Gresham's thing. Plus, Ian Riccaboni and Bobby Cruz were there. Bobby Cruz doing the ring announcing, and Ian Riccaboni doing the commentary team with D'Lo Brown and new color commentator Tom Hannafin from WWE.
What a fucking upgrade from Matt Striker.
What do you think of the Ring of Honor World Title match?
Really good. It's pure rules, so it's exactly what you expect. Chris Sabin, still very good all these years later. I enjoy Chris Sabin a lot. I really miss the Motor City Machine Guns. I was sitting there thinking about that, like for half this match. I was like, man, Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley and like the AEW tag division would be great. Yeah. Then I, went back to the match, and I thought the closing stretch was really good. Mm-hmm. I liked the creativity of like the false pin with the rope break where Gresham's foot was under the rope. I was like, oh yeah, saw that coming, but clever little spot because the rope breaks are so important. Pure rules. It was very good. I didn't expect these two to have a bad match. Mm-hmm. It was guaranteed to be good, and it was. And I enjoy watching these two wrestle. I wish, I wish Jonathan Gresham wrestled more places that I would care to see.
Okay.
Well,
Can you
Terminus
elaborate?
I'm excited for. I don't have no idea if that's even airing. I have no idea if I'll even be able to see any of
It's
that.
No, it's on Fight. It's gonna be airing.
Oh, it is?
Yeah,
Okay.
It's gonna be on Fight.
Okay, word. So I'll order that, I'll watch that. And I'm excited for that. But every time I watch Jonathan Gresham, I'm like, dude, this guy is so good. Why is he not like, I don't know, going somewhere like that he can be this great all the time against like, no offense, this is not like an attack at anyone. And Ring of Honor, you and me agree, during the pandemic, they were a really fun show despite being a no crowd most of the time. And I like Jonathan Gresham a lot. I wish, he'd not always have to do pure rules, but it is what it is.
That's what he's doing. That's what he's going for.
Yeah, and this match wasn't like full pure rules anyways. They had strikes and whatnot, and I know strikes can, because most pure rules is a lot of grappling, but Sabin, was really good with what he did. It was a fun match.
Yeah, no, I thought it was good.
Pretty good, to quote Ryan Neitzey, actually.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I was definitely lower on it than most people, which seems to be the theme of this episode. I thought the beginning, for me, the beginning was a little slow. I'm kind of over the foot under the rope, like surprise fake finish thing. I'm kind of over that spot. I feel like I've seen Gresham do that spot a lot. I think he did in the Woods match.
Well, I tried not to remember that match.
Yeah, I'm kind of over that spot. But the finishing sequence there was really good. The reversals and pin attempts between Gresham and Sabin were just outstanding. Sabin and Gresham are just good pair in that regard. Sabin's still very good. Gresham is still very good. I loved hearing Ian Riccoboni on the call again. I thought he was outstanding there. Going kind of, we were talking about Ring of Honor before. Friend of the show, Shawn at Spinal the Pine on Twitter, he tweeted out something that was basically saying that is the pure style marketable to a larger audience, or is it sort of too niche? And I think the obvious immediate thing is, well, if it was more marketable, then Ring of Honor would still be alive today, now wouldn't it? But you can also potentially chalk that up to crowds, right? We see that with New Japan right now. It's not necessarily the gimmick of pure rules. It's just the lack of crowds potentially, or the selling point there. I think Terminus will be a good vibe check on that point.
I think I don't love pure rules. Like, I think I've come to that conclusion. Like, I like Jonathan Gresham a lot.
Yeah.
So like he makes it fine, but I'm not a big pure rules guy.
Yeah.
Technical stuff's fine, but like I like my strikes a lot. Like that's my preference.
Yeah.
Which is why I pick other things over that. But Gresham's so good that he makes me watch it.
Yeah, and I think there is a lot of worth and value in the pure wrestling style. I think it is good, but I think it is sort of like, it is niche. It is a niche thing. It's, most, what is, because another response to that tweet from Shawn would be like, is wrestling itself right now marketable to a larger audience? And it seems we've reached a limit a little bit. So I think pure rules is a little bit of a niche there. I chalk pure rules up there with like, Joshi wrestling or like deathmatch wrestling.
How dare you?
Where it's just like it's niche. It is niche.
Yeah.
Joshi less so, obviously, but like deathmatch, or I don't know.
Deathmatch is a really good comparison because those are very. They do UWF rules, so it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, but it just feels like a niche argument. And with Terminus coming up, I think that is going to continue a lot of the Ring of Honor-ness. So I'm very intrigued about Terminus. We're going to talk about that next show, obviously. But
yeah, Ryan's wanted to preview it for like 3 weeks in a row.
I'm going to it, man. I'm going to Terminus.
Yeah, you went to day one too. That didn't change anything.
Well, day one sucked.
You had hope going into it.
I did have hope, and
that was with Roman Reigns, though.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, the main event was still great. I mean, really, I guess, really, like looking back on it, like really, the selling point was Brock Lesnar. I think, like
it always is.
I think the selling point to me was like the Roman Brock match and the New Day versus the Usos, and then one of those matches were not good, and the other match was didn't happen.
That's tough.
Yeah. Let's move on. Josh Alexander defeated Jonah 17 minutes and 7 seconds. Another hard-hitting match here between Josh Alexander and Jonah. Jonah is very solid in the ring. I think he's really good stuff. What was that? He did a moonsault off the top rope. That was
he did
great.
The Bam Bam moonsault.
Yeah. He tweeted out that he was representing one of his favorite wrestlers' colors, and obviously because he was purple, that was evil. House of Torture confirmed. They both have capitalized names. It's obviously evil. But it was great. I think the obvious story of this match with Josh Alexander, Jonah is a athlete a size athlete that has speed and everything to his ability. So Josh Alexander was like, let me slow down this guy, cut the legs out beneath the tree, as it were. And he did a great job. That closing stretch there where he's going for the ankle lock knee bar combination sort of thing. He's putting it on Jonah. Jonah's like, oh, no. Josh Alexander gets out of it, just stomps Jonah in the face like 10 times in a row, slaps that ankle lock back on, and taps out that son of a bitch. I think it was a very good closing finish.
Yeah. Outside of like the first 5 minutes, I thought it was great. The first 5 minutes were like really slow. And
I agree. I can agree to that. I can agree to that.
But they really picked it up, and they got to the point where that I was hoping when I saw the match was on the card. Alexander's so good. He's so good. And Jonah's so good. Like I want to give Jonah credit that, I saw it in NXT when he was Bronson Reed. He had some good matches, and he's making a name for himself now out of it. He's, with Impact, with New Japan Strong, and they had a really good match. I liked the idea that, Josh Alexander's still this big, powerful guy, but he was getting outmatched by Jonah before, he turned it around.
Yeah.
It was really good stuff. And that power bomb where he kind of I love the power bombs where they just get a guy like about to go up and they just let him go. Yeah. Like they don't get him all the way up. They just kind of like drops flat.
The sudden drop ones.
Too. Yeah. It's a great looking power bomb. And I loved the kicking in the face, then locking it back on. I thought that was a great finish and a really good match. And this is my point. Impact was just printing these really good matches. And I was like, what is happening? Like there wasn't anything bad to this point. Everything was pretty good at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or good. Yeah. Pretty good.
I like there was nothing for the majority of this card. There was nothing like insanely bad. Like everything was at minimum good for the most part.
And then we get to those last two matches. I'll have my takes.
But I thought it was great. I just do want to point out that in an alternate universe, this match was for the main world title.
Yeah, well, that's my also entire thought watching that match. I was like, this would be a good world title match. This should be
this would be a great world title defense.
Yeah, I was like, interesting. It's almost like Josh Alexander should be the world champion. Interesting.
Almost like it.
He must have re-signed, by the way.
Oh, did he?
He must have, because I don't think you give the win to him over Jonah, because I feel like that's a win that kind of gets him back on the title hunt. And I know his contract was really close to expiring. So either that or he's signing. I don't know. I'm just putting pieces together here, because he doesn't sign. You could easily have Jonah win, and no one bats an eye.
Yeah, that's probably true. I'll look into that, see if I can find anything. But anyways,
I didn't watch the next match, so
I watched the next match. Hardcore War 10-man tag team match. It was the team of Eddie Edwards, Heath, Rhino, Rich Swann, and Willie Mack defeating the team of the Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, Diener, Eric Young, and Joe Doran.
Did you call him the Doc Gallows?
I was going to say the Good Brothers, but then I stopped saying the Good Brothers.
I thought you meant like the Doctor.
The Doc.
Gallows.
The Doc Gallows. The Carl Anderson. The Diener.
How was the match?
I thought this match was pretty good. It
was plunger, right?
Yeah, it was all plunger.
The whole match.
I thought it was really good. I thought it was a really good match. The match was basically a War Games match without the steel cage. You know, they started off two people started off, you know, one on
NXT War Games match.
Yeah. Where it's basically a plunder match with there's a steel cage around them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was basically, you know, two men started. They went for 3 minutes. Then a new person comes in every 90 seconds after that. What was nice about this is I noticed this trend halfway during it that every single person pretty much came in with a new object. So, like, Rich Swann started the match against, who was the first guy? Diener and Rich Swann started the match. Diener brought out a trash can. Rich Swann brought out a chair, and then they fought for a little bit. And then Carl Anderson came out, and he came out with a golf driver, which was a cool thing
I
to
saw
see.
that in the main event. Thank you.
Then Willie Mack came out. I don't remember what he came out with. I want to say like another chair, but I don't quite remember.
I just like the idea that he just walked out there with some random object.
But then Doc Gallows came out, and he came out with a chain and the longest beard, whatever dangly beard thing I've ever seen on him.
Disgusting.
Eddie Edwards came out. He obviously came out with a kendo stick. Eric Young came out with 2 trash can lids. Heath came out with powder, a double pouch of powder. He like powdered one guy. He powdered pocket sand one guy, pocket sand another guy. Then he pulled out a steel pipe and then beat people with it. It was just like, holy crap, Heath came to play, baby. They love to see that.
One-man band, baby!
Joe Doring came out, and I'm pretty sure he came out with nothing, which was just himself. He brought himself, which is enough of a battle. And then Rhino came out to finish the night, and he came out with like a chain again, but he wrapped around his fist. So that's.
I was hoping he came out with a actual Rhino.
He came out. He walked out with Paul Giamatti. But this match is really good. Lots of plunger. At one point, Joe Doring, whatever the hell, picks up Rich Swann and like running power slams Rich Swann into a board with barbed wire on it. And Rich Swann sold it like he actually died. Like you just see him screaming at the top of his lungs in the middle of the ring, and then he's just like, ah. Like it's just
sounds painful.
It looked painful and it sounded painful. And it was good. It was like all around a good match. But obviously the big talking point was the post match, where after the match, the OGK come out of nowhere. Matt Taven and Mike Bennett come out of nowhere, beat down on the faces of Eddie Edwards, Heath, Rhino, and Rich Swann and Willie Mack. And then Vincent walks out. And you're like, Vincent, what is he doing here with OGK?
I got so confused.
I was like, why are they buds all of a sudden? And then
wait, there's more.
And then PCO walks out, and you're like, what the fuck is happening? Commentary's talking about like, oh crap, it's a Ring of Honor invasion. They beat down everyone. You know, Vincent does his moves. OGK do their like spike pile driver spot. PCO does the somersault off the top rope onto Rich Swann, who's on the apron. That's right. Rich Swann went through barbed wire, and then the next thing he took was the PCO salt thing, whatever, from the top rope. And then Maria Kanellis walked out with the rest of them, and it was those 5 people standing in the middle of the ring. Ring of Honor invasion, it appears. Leading to many speculate whether or not Jonathan Gresham and Ian Riccaboni opened up some sort of door. Maybe Bobby Cruz was involved. Who knows?
Close the fucking door. Fuck. I'm so sick of the stupid door. Speaking of the we'll talk about
we'll get to that stupid door. But otherwise, I think this is a very good match. Obviously, newsworthy with the post match, but I think it was very good. I really enjoyed it.
Good time to remind everyone that Matt Taven and Mike Bennett seem like the perfect Impact Wrestling wrestlers.
They're actually really good on NWA, and it does help that the rest of the NWA roster is not as good as them.
Is shit, yeah.
But they're like seeing their matches compared to the rest of the NWA matches. It's like, oh wait, no, these are good. These are good matches.
Remember the one that they have with the Briscoes. These guys are actually good. Unlike literally everyone in the NWA. Except Darius Lockhart, he's cool.
Yeah. NWA USA premiered. I watched it.
Cool.
Yet.
I won't be watching that.
Everything's on YouTube. I guess that's also a talking point that newsworthy is that NWA is now officially basically all on YouTube.
Oh, they went back?
Yeah, they changed up the thing. They still have the Fight subscription, but it's now instead of $5 a month, I think it's now $49. That doesn't sound right.
Whoa. 49
a year. 49 a year. I don't know if the math there is correct. But I know it's $9.99 a month to $49 a year, and you get Power before everybody else. I think NWA USA before everybody else, which eventually goes on YouTube. Both of those platforms go to YouTube, and then also you get all of the pay-per-views included.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
I have plenty thoughts. And my first one is never mind.
Impact World Title 3-way match. Moose defends the title against Matt Cardona and W. Morrissey. Hopefully that puts all of this in the rear view and Moose can move on to something else. Matt Cardona, his work in Impact has been totally fine. I think he's doing his best work outside of Impact, honestly. W. Morrissey, he's great. I love me some W. Morrissey. I think he's really good.
He was my big takeaway from this match. He was my one positive takeaway from this match.
He's been consistent like this his entire time in Impact, and I think this rejuvenation of W. Morrissey has been a great thing for him.
He convinced me that I wanted him to win.
Yeah. I'm ready. I was ready for W. Morrissey to win the title. I was hoping that Josh Alexander would win it, and then W. Morrissey would be the guy that takes it off at Alexander. Yeah, but obviously that is not happening anytime soon. Instead,
I can still see that happen.
Yeah, maybe. But now we still got Moose. We still got Moose.
I mean, W. Morrissey, for all of what he's gone through, from the big cast stuff, getting released, dealing with alcoholism.
I believe it was. I believe it might have been alcohol and drug abuse, but I think it was.
Yeah, but the way he's rebuilt himself, to be like this guy that I watch on Impact, I'm like, I finally see what people WWE at one time saw in him, and I think him going through all this and recreating himself, he looks like a star. Like he legitimately looks like a star.
Yeah,
and he was my favorite part of this match. The Chelsea stuff made me want to cry. The Moose grabbing her by the throat and throwing her back into the corner. I was like, let's not do that. Let's Moose, I know your history. Let's not do that, please. It was the Matt Cardona Moose stuff was just unbelievably ridiculous. Chelsea running out onto the stage with no, fuck you, and jumping. I was like, why? Yeah. Why? Who cares if he power bombs Matt Cardona on the floor?
Everything's legal. It's a triple threat.
Yeah. So applaud to W. Morrissey for being the clear star in this match, because everything he did was impactful, and he did a damn plancha which popped me. I was like, oh my god, that's a huge man doing a plancha.
Yeah.
He has a great big boot, by the way. He has a really good big boot. Yeah. And his power bomb's solid.
Yeah, taking Big Cass out of the boots and tights was such a great move, and putting him in that he looks so much more like a badass. So much more believable. Mm-hmm. Moose retains, I should say.
Yay.
Yeah. I thought this match was good. I thought there was good work in there. It was just things that were like, really? Well, okay.
The Cardona Chelsea Moose stuff made me want to just. I was like, what? This could have been like surprisingly impressive. Like if you didn't add the ridiculousness to it.
Yeah.
And like I feel like we were just trying to make Chelsea be in it for no reason.
Yeah. Well, I mean, she's part of the storyline, I guess. Looking at the video.
I liked the W Morrissey part, and that's all I'll say.
Me too. I want to see more W Morrissey. That's what I want to see.
I like the name too. I like W Morrissey.
It was ridiculous at first, but I'm like, yeah baby, here we go. And also, it's his shoot name. It's William. His real name is William Morrissey, so I think it works. Yeah. Before we move into the main event, I want to talk about the commentary team. Obviously, Tom Phillips from WWE. Tom, now going by his real name, I believe. Tom Hannafin. I want to applaud him as well. Very good. And what I enjoyed about him the entire night is you can hear him become less and less a WWE robot and get more and more into Impact. And yeah, there's the selling aspect of it all, but you can hear him be like, oh my God, like you can hear him getting into the show as the show's happening. And that made my enjoyment of the show great as well, because it was like, we're discovering it together almost. I thought he was great. Obviously, I thought he got better as the night went on. And I just want to applaud him because I'm just like, man, this is, if Impact likes him too, keep him. This is a keeper.
I always thought he was good. I always thought he was good for a WWE announcer that, kind of got tossed every direction they could have possibly tossed him. Like they took him off TV and just put him on 205 Live at one point when like he was clearly better than other people. Some people had to leave, so they put him back on TV, and like it kept going back and forth. So I applaud him for, coming back and, kind of showing he does enjoy the wrestling and commentating. Like he could have just stayed away if he wanted to.
Yeah.
And he, he's not Ian Riccaboni. I will keep saying Ian Riccaboni is probably the best going right now, but he was really good. And I also like how throughout the show, how informed he was. Like that was really impressive to me. Like they just announced it today, and clearly this has been in the works, but it's a lot of work to, know the storylines, know who you're talking about.
No finishers, no.
Right. And breaking in right on a pay-per-view. It's not like he got a whole TV, run to like figure things out. They just put him right out there for a pay-per-view, and it was really good.
Yeah,
it was really good. I mean, it helps when you're following Matt Stryker and Josh Matthews. Like, I truly think there might not be two worse. Besides, like, never mind.
Play my music. Where's my music? Somebody play my damn music. Come on, play my music.
But I do want to applaud him. He was very good.
Yes,
and good signing by Impact.
That was a utter burial on my part. I rarely do like burial bits like that.
That was pure burial.
Yeah, I thought he was good in Lucha. I thought that team was good in Lucha Underground. They serve well in Lucha Underground, I think. But also you can tape over it, so who the hell knows?
That's a good point.
Impact knockouts title match. Also, Texas Death Match. There are many things we need to talk about here in this match. Number one.
The pins. We have to talk about the pins.
The rules in this match. I
was so confused when I started it.
I feel like I've seen Texas Death Matches before. But for whatever reason, I guess I forgot that what the rules of a Texas Death Match are. You need to pin or submit your opponent, like any other match. And then after you do that, then the referee counts to 10. And I don't think that got explained to the audience either. Like, it didn't feel like the hardcore match, the hardcore war match or whatever it was called, got like a full sheet that said the explanation. I don't recall seeing it. Or if I missed it, I got very confused because we did a sudden pin, a sudden submission, and then it was just like, I was like, wait, what? Match is over. It's like, no.
The sudden pin, because I didn't read, so I just knew it was like a hardcore, whatever. I didn't really read into what the exact stipulation was, but I was like, okay, assuming regular rules here. And when Mickie James pinned Deanna in like 3 seconds, I was like, whoa, is it over? I was like, did they really just do that? Yeah. And then they just like kept going, and I was like, wait, what?
In screenwriting, this is what you call a hat on a hat. And by that I mean, you have this one thing, and why are you putting another thing on top of it? Just let it be the one thing. Sure. Just let it be like and I'm making it for the stipulation that has obviously been a stipulation existed long before this match. But it was just like, that is a dumb ass stipulation. You get the worst part about a last man standing match and mix it with this, and then you just confuse the entire audience. Commentary kept having to remind people that that's not real. You got to count to 10 now. Just make it a last woman standing, or make it a death match or whatever. Just do something else. Just because Mickie James, I guess, is from Texas. Which, is that true? Is she from Texas? She's from
Sounds right.
No, she's from Richmond, Virginia. So whatever, I guess. On top of that, other news broke out earlier in the week that Impact Women's Champion, Mickie James has entered WWE's Royal Rumble. It was said on the thing. There's no word if this is a transfer of talent situation that remains to be seen. It seems to have just been a one-off for Mickie James to show up in the Royal Rumble as some sort of legend spot. And the deal, according to Sean Ross Sapp, the deal seems to have been that she can be there, but even though you're not going to send over, then say that she is the Impact World Women's Champion on live television. That's the deal. Say it. And that seems to be the deal, that you get Mickie James for the Royal Rumble, and we get to have WWE say the Impact World Women's Champion on live television, and probably the pay-per-view.
They tweeted it.
And everything.
I have some thoughts. We'll get to the match in a second.
Yo, we got thoughts about the match too.
Yeah. Oh, I have thoughts about the match. It wasn't great, but. You remember Trash Bag Gate, right? It's a year ago, less than a year ago. You remember it.
Yep.
Everyone remembers it. Big huff puff about it. Mickie James was like, oh, this company sucks, and they sent all my stuff in a trash bag. And, as fans, we agreed, oh, that's terrible. How do you send someone's belongings in a trash bag? That's so disrespectful. Mickie James is someone that, was there for a long time. She did a lot for them during the Divas division. She was one of their best during that time, yada, yada, yada. Ah, terrible.
We seemingly agree with you, Mickie James.
Yeah. Why would you go back to that company? Less than a year later, you're going back for the Royal Rumble. Listen. Royal Rumble is cool. I love the Royal Rumble. Royal Rumble is my favorite. Still probably my favorite pay-per-view of the year, because I'm so stupid and gullible and love the simplicity of the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. And also, I understand paydays,
Yeah, I understand paydays too. But I also understand self-respect. And I don't get it. I truly don't get it. I understand paydays. I understand Royal. I guess maybe she loves the Royal Rumble. I don't know. But really?
Yeah.
Really? You said yes less than a year after they sent your belongings in a trash bag to you.
And you put up a whole hubbubaloo about it.
Oh, and they fucking released you, by the way. Just to, put that out there. And everyone was like, oh, Mickey's built herself back up and yada, yada, yada. I could go
She's
in a whole
the same spot.
Yeah, I could go in a whole fucking conversation about how she, shouldn't have beat Deanna in the first place, because it just whatever.
No, I'm
But
okay.
I
I'm okay.
understand why
I'm
they
okay with that. I'm saying in WWE world, she is in the exact same spot, a
Oh,
legend spot in the Rumble. She's gonna get eliminated almost immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I know that. I mean, I have complaints about the title thing because I just feel like you build a star in that spot. You know, Deanna has it for a year, but whatever. That doesn't matter. And everyone was like, "Oh, so wonderful for Mickey." Yada, yada. I'm just sitting there. I'm like, "Are we kidding? Do we not remember what has happened in the past year?"
I saw tweets, Scotty, of people going like, "You don't understand. This is a payday. She needs the bills. She's got kids to feed." I'm like, does she not have a job now? She's working.
Two.
She's got two. She's on Impact. She's on NWA. Her husband's on NWA and is a producer of NWA. They have money. She was just in WWE. She surely didn't spend all that money. They have money. They both have income. What do you mean she needs the paycheck? She's got kids to feed. And also, it's one fucking day. Sure, it's a pay-per-view. Sure, you're going to get maybe a couple thousand, right? But it's one day's work. What are we saying? What are we tweeting about? Oh, she's doing it for the money. Why? Why would she do it for the money when she's got paychecks? She's got paychecks coming in.
I love the idea that Mickey James instantly just became poor in a lot of people's heads.
Well, no, that's like everything. Whenever you get fired from WB, it's like, oh, great. Hot dog and handshakes from here on out. Jonah, I don't know if Jonah's going to make it, guys. Like, oh my God. Oh my God. What is Brian Danielson going to do? How is he going to feed Birdie? Like, what the fuck are we talking about? He grows his own food. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Why are you going back to a company that you seemingly disrespected, that they disrespected you? Going back to this company for one night. I get it. It's one night. It's not a new contract. And maybe the argument is like, well, they want me to come back. And if we can get to this agreement for Impact, right? Then that will put more eyes on Impact and be good for our product that I'm trying to help out.
Yeah, because
right?
it worked so well with AEW. So many more eyes on Impact now.
No, well, legitimately, they did have more eyes on Impact.
They did when Kenny Omega was there.
But once that was over, that was over.
Right.
That ended. And they obviously seem to need something. But I would also argue that it all ended when they were like, oh yeah, Josh Alexander, and Tony Khan was like, yeah, Josh Alexander should be your guy. And they're like, we agree. Actually, it's gonna be Moose. And then that dropped them like a stone.
The best part out of it all for me is that, oh yeah, maybe we'll bring Impact eyes. It's happening on a WWE pay-per-view. It's not even like Impact is getting like a talent back for a show. They're getting nothing.
If that happens, we'll talk. But yeah. I don't see that happening whatsoever.
I mean, to be fair, WWE has given them an entire roster over the past couple of years. So maybe this actually is.
Thank you. This is a thank you.
Yeah. I was like, oh, yeah, you wanted Matt Cardona. You're welcome.
You wanted the inspiration. You wanted Tom Phillips. You wanted Chelsea Green. You wanted Deonna Purrazzo. You wanted
W. Morrissey.
You wanted W. Morrissey. You wanted Heath. You wanted Mickey James. You wanted Rhino. You wanted Doc Gallows. You wanted Carl Anderson. You wanted Eric Young. You wanted Jonah. You wanted Steve Macklin. That's you wanted all that talent. Guess what?
Chelsea Green back.
Want Chelsea Green back? Sure. But we just want Mickey James for one night.
Yeah, but Summer Rae's back, so that's.
And now AEW's in the mud.
Yeah. Yeah, and I love the tweets of like Impact. We have opened the most forbidden doors, and I was like, yes, and you botched every single one. You had Jay White on your fucking television, and you put him in a tag team match. Shut up. Man, Impact sucks.
Let's talk about the main event then. Impact World Women's Title match. Mickey James defeating Deonna Purrazzo by pinning her, and then
I can't stop thinking about you like. What, you think she lost all her money the moment she was released? Oh, yeah. Just
I think
Yeah,
I think one of my favorite lines I've ever said in my life, and I know this is me laughing at my own joke, but I think one of my favorite lines I've ever said in my life is, "How is Bryan Danielson gonna feed Birdie? Guess what? He grows his own food." It's just like, what? He doesn't care about money. What are you talking about? He grows.
this main event
food.
sucked. It was bad.
Yeah. Anyways, long story short, and I don't think this is a Will Osprey situation where we're mad at Mickey James. I think I think this match actually just generally sucked. They botched a lot of shit. They that dumbass Tiana hitting the ropes, rebound chair shot, whiffed completely. It was confusing as all hell with the Texas Deathmatch rules. Like didn't they do a Texas Deathmatch in AEW, but they just scrapped that whole part and just made it like a last man standing practically?
Yeah, the
pin part is just way too confusing.
The pin submission part was so bad.
Yeah,
it was so stupid.
And also it should be noted that Roxy was in attendance, the Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
Yeah, we love Roxy.
It looks like while Mickey James is going to be flirting with WWE, Deonna is going to be flirting over with Ring of Honor and be facing Roxy for that title eventually, where presumably the AAA title will also be on the line.
Well, I will be one to say Deonna, smart choice, even though Roxy almost went to WWE. So there's that. What a mess, dude.
What a mess. The show was really good. The world title match was like, okay, this is not as good, but still good, I guess. And then I hated the main event. It was just like, what is this? This is not good, folks.
It was a train wreck.
I did 2.25.
It sounds nicer than what I did.
Yeah, I thought it was a train wreck. Is bad.
I did
Matt
Raywald, 3/4.
Matt, Jesus Christ, Scotty, goddamn, they worked hard. They did.
That doesn't make it a good match.
Yeah, I guess it's fair.
Listen, I like Deonna Purrazzo.
Respectful 2.25.
I have no problem with Mickey James as a wrestler. I think she's fine. She's fine. The legend talk is, whatever. Good. Go off. Whoever wants to say what they want.
Sure.
But this match was bad. Yeah. It was bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Yeah. 2.25 is for me, a really good squash. I wish this was a really good squash. It made Deonna lose again, so there you go.
Yeah, she'll go challenge for the Ring of Honor title and defend the AAA title, presumably in the same match against Roxy. So I'm going to wholly expect
it'll all happen at GCW.
I feel like Deonna is probably going to win the women's title, the Ring of Honor women's title at this rate.
Or Roxy. I also why don't we just put Roxy in the stands with people? What are we doing here?
I liked Matt Raywalt coming out of nowhere to pick up Deonna Purrazzo, I
didn't know that it was
drunk,
still going,
like a drunk friend. Can I get them up? They're still standing, officer. They're fine.
Yeah. Sure, awesome, great.
Well, I think this show had a little bit of a ring post had a little bit of a slow start. Then we got into it, and then we got closed with complaining, which I think that's what the streets wanted. I think
that's what the people want.
Yeah,
they want the anger. They want the and thank God we haven't had any NWA talk. But Impact never fails. Even when they have a good show, they never fail.
There's always one thing. There's always one thing about Impact that's what are you doing, folks?
At least one thing.
Well, that's it for Ring Post Radio. Like we said, we didn't talk about AEW. But we're going to be talking about that as part of a bonus episode that you can listen by joining the Countout Family membership. You get one by going to countoutpod.com/membership. Countoutpod.com/membership. Let's get a clean read, Ryan. You can just $5 a month. You can get a bunch of new content. There's me content from every podcast that's under the Countout tree there. So there's a bunch of stuff already in there. Plus, if we ever go over like we did today, which could happen from here and there, you'll get that in there as well. Plus, obviously, more content happening at some point. So you can get all of that there. Scotty, anything to plug?
Follow me at Scotty Wrestling on Twitter. read all my articles. What is it? It's January 9th. I have an article coming out for Count Out for the first time ever, but that's at the end of the month, so I'm not going to talk about it till we get closer.
I feel like that's gonna be a tough article. like you can write the article today.
The problem was this week made me think about it. I was like, is it the end of the month yet? And I was like, oh no, we just started.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely look out for that. And if you follow me on Twitter, you'll find all my other stuff because that's easier than me plugging it. Match of the week: Okada versus Osprey. Goodbye.
I believe at Scott E Wrestling. I don't believe you said your Twitter handle, but at Scott E
at
Wrestling.
Scott E Wrestling. Very simple. Very simple.
You can follow me on Twitter at Ryan Neitzey. You can follow the entire network and the show at Count Out Pod. We stream live every Sunday on twitch.tv/countout, on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. All the Count Out stuffs. Maybe I'll slap in my own personal Twitter. Maybe that will get a person or two. I don't know. My Twitter following doesn't know I'm a wrestling fan, probably. I don't know. Who knows? But anyways, my match of the week, I'm going with, this is my legit match of the week, looking at my numbers. Adam Page versus Bryan Danielson, which I'll explain more why I love that match in the Ring Post Radio bonus episode on the family membership. So you can listen to that again, countoutpod.com/membership. But yeah, I gave that match 4 3/4. Dad, baby. Whew. Great match. But I'll talk about it more on that bonus episode. So Scotty, thank you so much. For everybody listening at home, thank you as well. We will talk to you all later. Talk to you later.